Welcome back, everybody. This is Brother Mutant here. Today we're doing a video, actually it's going to be probably a multi-part video to talk about summoners, specifically because someone asked to make a summoner. Matter of fact, I think 2 people asked for a different type of summoner build. Those are coming. However, I wanted to talk about summoners in general, what they have to offer depending on the subclass that you pick, and of course the Eidolons that they get. And that's going to be extremely important because when you make the decision for what you want for a summoner, you also need to make the decision usually on what type of Eidolon you want. You still want to know what the base features are, and of course they all get unique or similar features, I should say. But again, some will be like immune to fire, some will be immune to electric, and again, that's not exactly something that just flows naturally. So of course, to do this, the summoner comes from Call of the Wild. I'm clearly using mods. I have already loaded up a summoner for each of the different types of Eidolons, so that with the exception of one, so you can see what they are. So let's see, so we'll start ranged here. Agatheon, Eidolon, trying to go in alphabetical order here, that doesn't mean much. So we will show you what the Eidolon has to offer, what they look like. The only exception to this is I didn't do the 4 Eidolons for the elementals that were humanoid. I can explain what those are and how they basically behave. They're almost identical-ish to the ones that are the animal versions of those same elementals. The Agatheon, if you go take a look at your character, you'll notice that right next to every character that has an Eidolon, whether you have a team of 6 or a team of 3, and your pet, your Eidolon, will be right next to you. Okay, so always when you press C and look at your sheet, this will be a way you can actually look at the Eidolon. Notice that the Eidolon has core stats at level 1. All of the Eidolons fall under one of 3 patterns. So you'll see one that has a 16, a 12, 13 for con, 7, 10, 11. That's what I call category A. This is what I call category B. It's a little bit of strength and a little bit of dex, but not amazing amounts of either. And then of course category C, where instead of having a 16 strength and a 12 dex, you have a 12 strength and a 16 dex. Basically, so they're just flipping the points. The mental stats are always the same here. There's ways to make those go higher, whether we're talking about evolution points or just natural abilities of the Eidolon or the class that you're picking. By and large, these are the core stats that you're going to see. And of course, the skills that they get at level 1 is going to be flippy floppity, so I wouldn't worry about that too much because it's only level 1 and you're going to add to that from there. And you don't have to keep going to the same ones, but because they don't have much in the way of intelligence, you're not going to get much in the way of skills to really spread around either. So don't expect your Eidolon to be like some kind of master sneak thief who can disarm every trap and have like a high mobility or athletics check. That's not going to happen. But you can definitely have some fun with them, and that's kind of the point. Now, when I rank up your summoner, you actually rank up your Eidolon as well. You have to literally level them up. I'll show you that in the end of the video because we're going to make a twinned Eidolon build, a twin summoner build, because that's the one I haven't done yet. And I'll show you how that actually progresses. But basically, again, all the Eidolons will have roughly this core set of abilities here. So you'll see that they get armor bonuses steadily, all the way up to 7 increases, and each of those increases is +2 to their natural armor. That's not natural armor enhancement, that's natural armor. That means something like Barskin, a spell that a summoner can cast, will actually benefit them. So again, they get really good armor. They're not going to be the best when it comes to touch armor class. That's going to be kind of the weak spot. There's ways around that, but not much in ways around that, so that's going to be a thing. Notice that almost all of them are going to get things like evasion and improved evasion. Most, I think, not all, get devotion. Basically just a bonus to their will saves against enchantment spell effects. Basically, it's a kind of like a throwback to, you are in charge of them and therefore they can't be swayed to the dark side kind of shit. Many, if not all, will have access to multi-attack, which is free, and again, you can pick that up as a feat. Do not do so because it is coming down the pike anyway. But the downside of this one is if they're using weapons, there's a rare few that actually have the ability to use weapons. Multi-attack doesn't do a goddamn thing. So just know that that's a thing. So this is for those that have like bite attacks, claw attacks, tail slaps, wing buffets. They have a ridiculous amount of attacks depending on the type of Eidolon we're talking about. And again, this is going to be very useful for those types, which is most of them. And that's not to say that you can't take some of the humanoid forms. Obviously, this is not a humanoid, but the humanoid formed one, you can obviously gift them or with feats purchase things like simple weapon proficiency, martial weapon proficiency, exotic weapon proficiency, shields, stuff of that nature. And that's on you. Again, it's almost like a mini character. It is not a mercenary, so be real clear on this. And a lot of these I've been finding are buggy. based on if it's your main character, like you're picking this at level 1, summoner level 1, and you get your Eidolon at level 1, everything seems to work fine. If you're getting it as a secondary character like a mercenary, and then they pick the Eidolon at level 1, sometimes it bugs out a little bit, where you get the wrong pet. Sometimes when it says, oh, the Eidolon, you can go right here, you can say the Eidolon gets a bite evolution for free. He won't have the bite evolution for free. He'll have like literally unarmed strikes or something stupid, and you're just like, what the hell? Or the one that has martial weapon proficiency, which is one that actually has that, which is pretty badass. He won't actually have any martial or simple weapon proficiency at all if he's not your main character summoner that picked that Eidolon. So that's an issue. So again, be real clear on this. There is some issues, but by and large, if it's your main character, chances are your summoner was your main character. This will be the fun that you get to have. Notice that when you pick your summoner, this is just a generic one. I'll go through the list of all the different subclasses and what they may have to offer, but I picked the generics for a reason. There's two, well, technically there'll be 3 exceptions to the rule that I give a damn about, but the other ones kind of are lackluster. The Twin Summoner being the exception to the rule, and of course the Devil Binder being a really nice addition, and the Fey Caller being a nice addition. But there's the one that's called the Naturalist. They're alright, they're just weird. And then the Master Summoner, I would just honestly just say no, don't bother. The reason for the Master Summoner being bad is all you get for being a Master Summoner is you get for free, like at level 2 as a Summoner, you get Augment Summoning for free. And you don't even need like Spell Focus Conjuration, which I would recommend you grab, but you don't need it to get it, so it's like just handed to you. Which I guess is a thing if you're really tight on feat picks, which lots of builds are. This is kind of a dumb idea though, because again, you're probably going to get Spell Focus Conjuration anyway, and get Augmented Summoning is just another feat pick after that. That's not that big of a deal. I highly recommend you get not only that, but also Superior Summoning, because as you can see, you get these summoning spell-like abilities, summon monster 1 through 9 for a summoner. And why is that important? Because the summoners are a spontaneous caster class based off charisma, and they only get spells level 0 through 6. So that's kind of a thing there. So the fact that they can have access to spell-like abilities that are level 7, 8, and 9 is pretty goddamn baller. They're not all the summoners get this. Most of them do, the subclasses. There's some that change this out. Some don't get any summoning abilities like this at all. And that's kind of trippy, like the Devil Binder, for example. But they have other things that counter that make them more interesting, in my opinion. And again, we'll talk about that when we get to that specific class. But when you pick a Eidolon, you do that, like I said, at level 1. You pick from the list of Eidolons. Notice that right here, the very first thing that's going to happen is you get one at level 1, and this is what they should have. So again, they have a resistance to electricity. That's an evolution, and that resistance, in this case to electricity, starts out at DR5. Then it gets at, like, I want to say at level 5, it goes up to DR10 naturally, and then at level 10 it finally caps out at DR15. That's not amazing, but you'll notice a lot of times as you progress, you'll actually see down the pike, suddenly they'll get immunity to that electricity or acid or fire. You get the idea. It's not always, but it's usually there, and again, you can unlock that too. That's part of the cool things about being a summoner. You get to change your Eidolon at every goddamn level as far as their abilities. Notice that we have, in this case, the Agathon, specifically, I'm sure I'm saying that right, specifically has a single bite attack. They don't have claws, despite the fact that they look like they should. You can gift that to them. I could have done so at level 1. Give them a claw attack. Or that would have been 2 attacks, no less, and then the bite as well. So we could have at level 1 had a 3 attacking monster right with us. And that could be a thing. I think I gave them like natural armor. But this one has a bonus to that bite, the resistance to electricity, and a bonus to saves against poisons and petrification. Kind of a weird thing. Agathons, for those of you that want to know the history of what Agathons really are, they're kind of animalistic angels, if you will. It's hard to explain, but basically you'll find in when you see things like lay on hands ability that they're going to get later, it kind of falls into place, kind of makes some sense. But again, all of the different Eidolons will have an ability at all these stages. Okay, 1 or more. It just depends on what we're talking about and which type of Eidolon, but you can look at them, and we're going to do so. So as you see here, we got at level 4 for your summoner, which would be level 3 still for your pet, and I'll explain that in a minute. You get cold resistance 10 and sonic resistance 10. This is not the same as the electric resistance here. This is a flat 10, done. So obviously it's better than the electricity at this point, and at the very next level, then your electricity jumps up to 10, DR 10, and then, like I said, at level 10, it goes all the way to 15. Eventually you get immunity to electricity. So again, this could be very cool. Why? Because with those summoning spell-like abilities, one of or more of them has the ability to summon those axiomite little fucktards, and those bastards like to cast lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. And if you're Eidolon, I'm going to call them a pet from now on, but if your pet is out there and like tanking for you, and that son of a bitch happens to be immune to electricity, then lightning bolt away, buddy. You know, it's going to be fine. And you may say, well, that's cool. Can I totally do that? Yes and no. Why do I say yes and no? For these summoning abilities, these spell-like abilities, you can't use these when your pet's out. Which sounds like, well, then you just said you can do that. Yes, you can, because the summoner gets these spells, or you could pick these spells, level 1, 2, all the way up to level 6. And that still includes those little Axiomite electric casting sons of bitches. And that's a spell, not a spell-like ability. The spell-like abilities that you're seeing here, 1 through 9, can't be used if the pet's out. The pet's away or dead, and now you can suddenly use these. And you have the ability to shut the pet off, basically, so it just croaks and dies. Nothing bad happens, don't worry about that. You just don't have the pet. The moment you summon the pet back, if you had any of these guys out, they immediately disappear as well. So it's kind of pick or choose. But again, if you use these as actual spells, you know, as you level up and you pick those spells, you can have multiple summons on the battlefield and have your pet out at the same damn time. And that's kind of cool. I noticed that this one's going to get the Lay on Hands ability equal to its hit dice level. So again, it caps out at 15, as you can see way over here. This is its hit dice. Eventually will cap out at 15 at level 19 summoner. And at level 20 it still stays at 50. I've yet to test to see if that actually, because it's Lay on Hands, and they do get feats, as you can see up here. It's entirely possible once they get Lay on Hands that they may get the ability to grab feats that allows them to do stuff with that Lay on Hands, stuff like a paladin might do. So that's something of interest, but I haven't checked on that. Damage reduction, they get DR5/evil, so only evil weapons penetrate that DR. They're immune to petrification, and while that doesn't sound amazing, there's at least a couple spots in the game where petrification is a real nasty thing, one that's specifically at the end of the game. So having a pet buddy that can just go out there and say, fuck you, I'm immune, and rip their goddamn throats out, it's pretty cool. Notice down here, again, this is where they get their, if you ever see stuff like lose the resistance to such and such, usually that's followed with the following sentence of they get immunity to that same thing. So when you see they lose something, it's because they're replacing it with something baller. And up until this point, you may say, well, I would have liked to have been immune to electricity. You can do that. You can gift yourself that at some point in here. It's limited by how many points you have and what level your summoner is, etc. and so forth. But by and large, you could get this ahead of time. Why would you do that then, brother? I mean, because again, I'm going to get it for free. Isn't that wasteful? No, because at every level, you repick your points for your Eidolon, the stuff that you make to make them unique. Like again, if I wanted to give them a claw attack, I could do so. If I didn't like the claw attack, maybe they weren't hitting, maybe I just thought it was stupid, I could double down on the bite attack, make it stronger. I could give them a poison attack through that bite attack. Again, you will see this as you level up one, and I'll show you one at the end of the video for the twin Eidolon, just to show you how that works, as well as the types of evolution points that you can spend. But again, pretty cool that they get some free stuff, and you know my love for immunities. And over here at level 20, of course, there's always some capstone ability. In this case, this Eidolon gets a DR10/evil, so it just gets a little bit higher. Nothing really special about that. No. We should talk about what summoners get besides the Eidolons, and of course the ability to summon these monsters 1 through 9 as a spell-like ability. Of course, they get spontaneous spell casting, like we said. They get cantrips. They get spells all the way up to level 6. They're not all the spells. They are considered an arcane caster. This is important because you can actually unlock with the right skill purchases the ability to be Dragon Disciple as a summoner. It's kind of weird and not the best idea because they don't have a lot of damaging spells. But if you wanted that +4 to strength, a 4-level dip in Dragon Disciple is not the worst thing ever. But sadly, you lose some of these higher level abilities, and that's going to be a bummer. Notice one of the best abilities at level 20 that some of the summoners have, but not all, is this thing called Twin Eidolon. Don't confuse this with Twinned, Twinned Eidolon. That's a separate class of summoner. A Twin Eidolon is unique in that at the end, whatever cool abilities you've been basically gifting your pet by level 20, you can click a button 20 times a day, and for 1 minute, each time you click it, you get the abilities of the pet. I assumed it means you would turn into the pet, like look just like it. No, it would have been fucking cool, I think, because you would have been like, yeah, 2 panthers or whatever, running through the battlefield, just having all kinds of fun. No, it doesn't do that. You stay in your whatever form you are, but basically your physical stats, your strength, your dex, and your con, switch to kind of the stats of this guy. And why do I say kind of? Because it doesn't work perfectly. For example, the Eidolons all get this ability here, the physical prowess, at several stages, 7 points exactly, where it's a bonus to strength and dex. I don't know why it's a 7 and a 7, don't ask. This one's also a 7 and a 7. Maybe the modder messed up, I don't know. But you definitely finish on an odd strength and an odd dexterity no matter what you do. Unless, of course, you give them, remember they get skill or ability points as well at level 4, 8, and 12, because that's as high as they can go, because 16 is not available to them. So you could give them an odd strength and an odd dex stat so that at the end of the build, you finish with an even number. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to do that. I think that intelligence, con, and charisma probably make more sense to me. Maybe I could convince myself that charisma is not necessary for the Eidolon, but some actually do benefit from that. So, something's going to end odd is the short version here. But those don't translate over to your character, I don't think. So when you do that twin ability, you don't suddenly get like a +7 to strength and a +7 to dex, I don't think. You also have a bunch of other stuff that doesn't work quite right. Like, for example, if you're still swinging a weapon, I don't think you get your claw attacks if you've given them claw attacks, because again, you have a weapon in your hand. You have to like unequip it, and then you would have those claw abilities and the bite and the etc. and so forth. And again, you don't have a tail, so having the ability to do tail slap doesn't do you any good for those Eidolons that have that. So again, it doesn't work perfectly. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but basically all this cool shit that you're seeing in here, the resistances, the immunities, and all that shit will translate over to your character for sure. And that's kind of nice. So again, you get like that DR10/evil. You'll get that immunity to electricity, and again, that allows you to stand next to them goddamn electric shooting sons of bitches just by clicking your button, and now you're straight up immune. Say, fuck it, have at it, hey boys. And again, you get that 20 times a day. I honestly wish it says you use it in 1 minute increments. I don't think it's a toggle. I think it's a clickable, and I think that's a mistake because that means I have to constantly re-click the goddamn thing after a minute. And that's just annoying. If it just was a toggle where it would, if I shut it back off, it burns up that minute, I'm fine with that. But if I could just leave it on, a minute goes by, oh, now you're up to minute 2, that would have been fine with me, but whatever, I'm not going to quibble. But you can see that this particular pet's kind of cool, and again, he's got those middling physical abilities, so he's not really great at strength, he's not really great at dexterity, but by the end, he's going to have really good armor, even without you investing in the son of a bitch. He's going to have really good strength and dex, because that'll be a 7 and a 7 after this. That'll be a 21 and a 21. There's ways to make that higher. You'll notice the Eidolons have slots available. This is another problem that we need to discuss with a summoner versus an Eidolon. They have a link between them. First off, no Eidolon can ever wear armor. Doesn't matter if they're humanoid or not. No armor is ever a thing. The ones that can't use like rings and boots and gloves and have belt slots is because they clearly don't have anything that would allow them to have rings on their fingers. They ain't got fingers. They ain't got gloves because they don't have hands. They don't have booties because, again, while they have feet, the claws would poke right through them, I guess. But the stuff that you see that's not grayed out here, it's kind of hard to tell if you're not paying attention to the screen here, but this is literally lighter. These ones are clearly available. So the bracers, the belt, the necklace, the hat, which is weird, and the shoulder items, which is basically like your cape, can be used. Now, having said that, if my summoner has used, like, say, a neck slot, then this guy can't use his neck slot. It can be there. You can give him a necklace, and he'll use it. But the moment I put a necklace on, doesn't matter what kind of necklace it is, now he doesn't get the benefit of whatever was in that slot. It's still on his person. It doesn't disappear, but he's not getting the benefit of it. So again, kind of an annoying feature. There is a way around that, but I think the only one that can get that is the twinned Eidolon, the one that literally looks just like your main character. And that's actually quite cool. One of the reasons I want to show you the twin Eidolon. So again, that's going to be a thing. But that's something that you'll just have to learn to deal with. But notice that this is your, again, the Agathon Eidolon. Again, considered reasonably heavenly. When you pick your Eidolon, it actually restricts your alignment. So if you're picking a devil, pretty much be expecting to be something chaotic or evil or lawful evil or something like that. It's going to be a thing. So your Eidolon will help dictate what you can pick as a summoner. So that's kind of a bummer. So that's this one. Let's go do another one. Oops. I don't think I want to go to here. Okay. So we've done that one. It's Agathon. Dagger. There's an Angel Eidolon. The Angel Eidolon is going to get a lot of really kick-ass abilities. Immunity to cold, acid, petrification. It's going to have its own little protective aura eventually. Again, that's what I call the A stats. So again, high strength, okay dex, okay con, and then of course the mental stats are always the same. This one doesn't have punches as much as it has what's called slam. And again, you'll see that when we look at the Eidolon at level 1, that's what they get for free. That's important. I'll explain why in a minute. But basically, slam is like a bludgeoning attack, so it's kind of like a punch, but it's not a punch. It's not an improved unarmed strike. It's not something that's like you're being a monk. But notice how they get two of them. Left foot, right foot, kind of smack them in the face kind of thing, which is kind of nice. And again, solid attack, keying off of that strength. And again, a really nice base attack bonus right now. The base attack bonuses do change depending, I believe, on which type of Eidolon you have. I didn't actually write that down. That's kind of a bummer. But notice again, we have a BAB of 1 right off the bat, which is probably a good sign that you have a solid BAB from start to finish with this guy. Notice because it's a physical attack, of course, their strength is keying off it automatically, so we're +3 already to damage. The reflexes, will saves, and fortitude saves are going to change depending on the type of Eidolon that you have based on your physical stats, of course, too. And notice this one already has a nice improved natural armor. That's the first evolution point I perked in this character. How do I know that? If you go to abilities, scroll down, you'll see I actually bought it. That's this one right here. And again, you can buy different things at each level, so I don't have to keep this. Next level, I can grab something different. I can give them like resistance to fire or some shit next level if I so choose. So again, I'll show you that process. But again, kind of cool. The angel, or at least some of these guys I'm noticing, I'm not sure if on all of them, but like I want to say the devil, or the demon, I should say, is different. The model that they use is different depending on the type of character that you have. So if you're playing a female character, they give you a male demon, and if you're playing a male character, they give you a female demon. It's actually kind of cool. But the stats are still the same, so it's just flavor text kind of more than anything else. What does this one do? Again, same general stuff that you're seeing here at level 2. Of course, the typical free feat. We're going to get that evasion ability up here. Again, brute evasion, multi-attack. And again, this is multi-attackable. It is not a weapon attack. It's a natural weapon attack, and that's where multi-attack is used for. So this is okay. This will allow you to get an extra attack once you get all the way up here. And again, it'll just be offset by like -5. Much like you get when you level up your character and have a higher BAB. So there is that. But what does the angel actually get? Well, at level 1, they get acid and cold resistance. They get bonuses saving throws against poison. You better believe that some or all those things are going to get immunities to eventually. Over here, they're going to get some electric and fire resistance, just some flat resistances, making them decently tough, quite frankly. Then they'll get the ability to straight up have wings, and this is an evolution. You could give them wings before this point, probably. But once you have this, it won't be an option anymore, because it's free, which is nice. So it's not allowing you to waste your evolution points on dumb shit that you're already going to get for free at this level on up, because it's already pre-purchased, if you will. So that's nice, and it's just like wings in the game that you would expect with like a fly spell or overland flight, where they get a +3 to dodge for melee attacks. They also get either faster, can't remember if that's true, but they definitely get immunity to difficult terrain and ground-based effects. And again, you are a summoner. Some of the things you're summoning or conjuring is going to be ground-based effects, you know, like your grease spell, stuff that you can slap on the goddamn ground, and these guys can just fly right over that shit, and it's never a problem for them, which is fucking cool. So again, really, really nice synergy that you have there. Notice they get damage reduction 5 evil. This is an immunity to petrification. Again, while you're seeing a theme here, not every Eidolon is going to get DR. Just know that that's a thing, so that's something you want to check for. So don't just assume that, oh, they're all getting protected by, you know, evil or chaos or lawful or something at some point. Nope, not for everybody. You can purchase it, but you can't guarantee that it's just going to show up for free. Notice down here, this is where they lose the cold and acid resistance because they're getting the immunity to both those things. And again, want to draw your attention to the fact that it's acid immunity for one good reason. Remember, you are a summoner again. One of your spells, if not a lot of your spells, include acid components to them. So having them straight up immune to acid, like Acid Fog, you can cast that once you get to level 6 casting. If you pick that spell, they can stand in that shit all fucking day long, and it's melting the flesh off the bad guys, assuming they're not immune or resistant to that acid as well. So again, nice synergy here. And immunity to cold, while it's not something that you really specialize in, you could pick up gear that allows you, there's like a hat, for example, that allows you to shoot a cone of cold. You can shoot that through your Eidolon once you get to this level, because again, he's straight up, or she, excuse me, is straight up immune to that shit. And, you know, again, something you could use to group guys up on the Eidolon and then blast with your cold breath or your cold, cone of cold type spells. Up here, this is one of their freakier abilities at level 20, their capstone ability. The Eidolon, I believe, continuously produces a protective aura ability. And from what I understand on that one, it's very similar to, for those that have ever played D&D or obviously Pathfinder, there's a spell called Protection from Alignment, but there's also a spell in D&D called Circle of protection from alignment. So it's the same general principle. It's a circle. It's surrounding them. Anyone that's in the circle that's on the team gets a benefit to deflection bonus to armor class and saving throws, but only against like evil creatures, I'm assuming. And again, it's an angel, so it kind of makes sense that it's evil creatures that they hate. But it's always on, and you will see it surrounding the pet, like it literally is on the ground as a big circle. So again, pretty cool. Again, we went with the generic summoner, so we still get all the special abilities up here. Notice some of the things that you can do with a summoner, not all, is you have not only a life link, but you also have a life bond in many cases. This allows you to shuffle points, like if you're taking damage, you could steal life from your Eidolon, or vice versa. If the Eidolon, say, is up front or just taking lots of heavy hits, you can switch on a specific toggle where you're donating your HP to keep them alive. Because let's face it, if they die, you're probably quickly going to follow. Again, a very neat feature for the summoners, but it's not every summoner that gets it. And again, I'll show you some of those that don't have access to that. Some of them don't have access to the Shield Ally, Greater Shield Ally. And again, it looks like a shield spell because it actually is a shield bonus. So you may say, well, then I don't need shield spell. Well, yeah, but remember, shield spell A is one that literally protects you from magic missile. This will not. This one will give you saving throw bonuses, which is fucking awesome. You have to be near your pet when this is on, to get this to even work. It's automatic. And again, it upgrades automatically too once you get to level 12. So there's that. But again, there's still reason to want the shield spell. So just be clear on that. But it will not stack. Other than that, though, like there's the ability to call transposition. They just spelled it wrong. Basically, it's just nothing more than you swap places with the Eidolon. And again, most summoners have this ability, but I don't believe all of them do. Or if they do, it's not quite the same. One of them, for example, gets this swift transposition ability. So you'll see transposition twice. And you're like, what the hell is that about? Well, it's because one is a standard action. And that's usually like, oh, he's like way the fuck over here, taking it on the chin. I'm fully healthy and buffed up. Let's swap places. And I'll use my full turn or my action to do that. Fine. Now I'm over there in the thick things, and he's way the fuck back here chugging potions or doing whatever he can do to get healed back up and back into the fight. So that's a thing. But the one that has the swift action ability, you can see the appeal for that. Again, he's right here getting beat up. I can switch places with him, and I can still cast a spell or still swing my weapon at the same combat round. Again, good tactics. You can see how much fun that's going to be. One of the other abilities that most of them, if not all of them, have is Maker's Call. This allows you to like literally say, oh, he's over here. I want him back here with me. Whoop, teleport him back here with me. And again, you can do that like a certain number of times a day. So basically, it's a way to kind of like think of it as like a leash where you can just like, nope, get your ass back over here. You know, kind of like get over here kind of move. And it's kind of cool. The link here is kind of a weird one to explain, but the general gist on this one is three real points. One, no Eidolon can wear armor. We already mentioned that. Two, if they have like a ring, like we said, and you have the ring in the same spot. So remember, there's ring 1 and ring 2. I can put something in ring 1 on my summoner. You could put ring, if again she has the ability to do so, and of course she's a humanoid, so she can. She could use a ring, but she'd have to put it in ring 2 slot. And if that's the case, and I don't have one in ring 2, she's fine. She gets the benefit of that ring. That's what Link is talking about here. Another thing that I don't know if it's mentioned in here, but I will mention it now. Your spells, like shield spells, and that's why it's nice that this is here to remind me of this. Your shield spell is normally a personal effect spell. You cast it, you automatically like click the button, and it won't even like ask you who do you want to cast this on, because it knows it's supposed to be cast on you. Well, not for a summoner. With a summoner, it'll give you the arrow, and you have to click yourself or click your Eidolon. So you can actually buff your Eidolon with your personal effect spells free. Period. There's no feat needed for any of that shit. There is a feat though that's available that can split the effect. So it's still a shield spell for both of you, but instead of the duration being 1 minute per caster level, it's half a minute each per caster level. And that's something that you can unlock with both your Eidolon and yourself. You need those feats. And it's a teamwork feat, I believe, like a shared improved spell sharing or something. That's what it's called. And again, there's a class of summoner out there that gets a teamwork feat, actually 2 of them, for free. So that could be something you could pick. And you may say, well, again, why would I bother? If I can cast shield spell, I'll just cast it twice. Cast it on me, cast it on her. Bingo bango, furry triangle. We're all kinds of fucking happy because we got the full buff for the full duration. Yeah, that's sure, that's the thing. But now you just wasted 2 spells. Well, not wasted. You used 2 spells. And again, you didn't have to. If the fight was a quick fight, 1 spell split both ways is more than enough to get through the fight. Hey man, just saying there's some reasons to want to do some of these things. So it's kind of fucking cool. And again, there's a lot of really neat things you can do with that. Some of the other stuff to talk about for summoners in general that most of them get You see these little bull strength looking bastards over here. This is called aspect and greater aspect. Not all of them get these either, but what these basically do is at this point, and then a better version shows up at this point, those evolution points that you use to rank up, if you will, or give extra abilities to your Eidolon, you can steal one of those away for yourself. It starts out low levels, like you can only steal like a 1 point increase, but eventually you can unlock like a 2 or a 3 point increase. And those 3 points ones can actually be pretty damn useful for your character. But again, that's stealing points from your baller ass pet. Now there's ways around that, but again, if that's your thing, maybe there's something in there that you want. They get a lot of cool shit, and again, I'll show you that list at the end. But again, this is what the angel is, just again to show you what the angel looks like down here. Like so. I noticed that they have typical core abilities here, just to show you she has every slot available, including belt. And weapon slots as well, even though she can't use weapons currently. As you can see here, something that is a simple weapon, she can't even use that, but she could unlock that ability and therefore get weapons if you wanted. I'm happy keeping her with the slam ability. Everybody's different on that. I'm not going to tell you how to fucking make your character. Well, I'm going to tell you how to make my character. But the point is slam is perfectly good, claws is perfectly good, bite attack is not good, but it's okay. You can upgrade it with like poisons and shit. So again, the natural weapons that they get are not the worst idea ever. So I would highly recommend you just toy with that idea and see if that works for you. And again, remember, this is bludgeoning damage. Maybe that's the thing where you're just like, oh, fuck that. I need some slashing or piercing damage. Okay, switch them over to claws. And if you purchase claws, I could have done that at level 1 because it's a 1 point buy. If I purchase claws, she would not have slam. Because again, how can you do that? You can't, punch them in the fucking face and then claw them in the face with the same fucking hand. It doesn't work. So you're basically picking or choosing. And again, if I don't pick claws on the next level up, she'll go back to having the slam ability for free. It's not like you're deleting it or anything. So again, it's there until you replace it. So just know that that's a thing. But again, I kind of dig that angel. Looks pretty fucking cool to me. I love the little halo look. Let's get on to another one. Alright, next one's going to be the Azada. This is another one that feels like an angel. Let's see, that was you. Longsword Azada. There we go. I just named them based on the kind of weapons that I was gifting my guys, based on like family heirlooms and shit like that. So sometimes I name the pet, sometimes I name the file after the weapon or what I'm trying to do with the pet. So here is the summoner, generic summoner again, completely weird stat spread. Charisma being your probably most important stat, or second most important, at least they need to get to a 16 to cast all your spells. But this is the Azada. Well, here, let's actually just look at the form. Notice it's also the same picture. It's pretty fucking cool. Looks to me more like a Titan or like a fucking Celestial. That's your Azada right here. And he is one of the few bastards that, again, if you're playing as the main character, otherwise it glitches out. If you go look at his sheet, look at his abilities, see how he has simple and martial weapon proficiency. That came with the build. How do I know that? If you go here and look at your class features for the Azada, they give resistance to electricity for free, and they get a 4-point weapon training evolution, proficiency in martial weapons, which of course includes proficiency to simple weapons, something that the Eidolons don't normally have. So he's able to wield a weapon right off the bat, and of course, I would highly recommend you give him a good one. So notice I gave him my Cold Iron Longsword. Obviously, I would want it on my main character, but you can see we only have simple weapon training. I will have to unlock with my own feat purchases martial weapon proficiency, probably, and then I'd get my sword back. But since I can gift myself the sword just because I can't use it, I can give it to him, and he's happy, and he's got a magic weapon, and he's crushing it. He's already doing well. So again, solid character. He's going to feel like a little mini fighter for you. Very, very fun. Let's see what he has to fucking offer. Of course, he's the typical type of Eidolon with all the generic crap here. Category A for his physical stats. Nothing really special about how he's built here, but looking at his special abilities, we've already talked about that one. Of course, he's going to unlock cold resistance and fire resistance at some point, level 10 versions, or at least DR10 versions. So a little bit of protection, and that kind of helps keep him alive, I suppose, a little bit. Notice he's going to get free wings, and that's basically a flight evolution points. Again, something you could purchase earlier, much like with the angel. But at this point, they're giving it to you free, and you don't have to. And it's the same thing as having wings. So again, the +3 to dodge for melee attacks, the immunity to ground-based and difficult terrain. And again, that's something that you can personally capitalize on as a conjurer. Notice he gets DR5, Evil and Immunity to Petrification. Again, we're seeing a theme here, but it's not always going to be the same thing. He's also a heavenly warrior, much like the Angel, much like the Agathon, weird-ass saber-tooth pet we saw at the very beginning of this video. Notice he's going to get the evolution for electricity drop-off, and now he gets immunity to electricity, and something else. Let's talk about that here in a second. But that immunity to electricity, again, that's power. That's shit that you can capitalize on. Just make sure to purchase as a spell that summoning ability that allows you to summon those little lightning bolt casting sons of bitches, and he can stand in the front ranks all day long at that point and just have all kinds of fun. But he also gets an ability increase evolution applied to an ability score of your choice. So what that means is when you get to a certain amount of ability or evolution points, you can give him a +2 to strength or dex or con, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma, your choice. Here, it's given free. And again, it's a permanent buff, so make sure you're giving it to something you want. Strength being an obvious one, charisma being, strength being an obvious one, charisma being useful, hell, dex and con are definitely useful. I'd probably shy away from intelligence or wisdom. I mean, you could get better will saves, I suppose, so there is that, but by and large, it's charisma or strength or dex or con. Those are your 4 that you really give a rat's ass about. So again, that's free, and that's permanent. You don't get to change it at that point. You can keep adding to it, or you can start purchasing stuff. Like say you said, oh, I grabbed it for dex, I wanted it for strength. Well, I'm okay with the dex, and I'll just start adding my evolution points to strength, and you can do so, and you can really finish with like a ridiculously strong character by the end of this game, or Eidolon, I should say. Notice at the end here, he gets a special ability that's not like the Angel. He gets an energy form. This one's a little weird. Let me explain this. So he becomes incorporeal, basically he's like Ghost, doubles his fly speed, so he'll be moving faster. He can't make natural or manufactured weapon attacks. Well, he can't attack at all. However, he can activate spell-like ability evolutions it possesses. The downside is I don't know that there's a whole lot of these. The only thing I can think of off the top of my brain that might be a spell-like ability would be like acid breath, or I should say energy breath is what they call it. You can make it acid, fire, cold, or electric, your choice. But basically it's dragon's breath. We all fucking know it. And that's it. That's like the only thing he'd be able to do. And you'd have to purchase that for him with evolution points so he could even do that shit. And he only gets to do it like once, twice, maybe 3 times a day. And that's it. So it's kind of a like, what the hell kind of crappy ass form is that? But I suppose the incorporeal form, I mean, that probably means he's going to be taking like half damage from magic weapons and probably no damage from non-magic weapons. That can be okay. And again, notice with your Twin Eidolon ability, you can mirror all these abilities, which includes this energy form. You'll get wings for free, only for a minute. You'll get all these resistances. Hell, you'll even get, I believe, martial weapon proficiency. Remember that longsword I was saying that, oh, I could purchase martial weapon proficiency? I don't have to if I want to wait till 20. I can click this button and I think it'll give it to me for free. Now, yeah, it's only up for a minute. I'll have to equip the weapon at that point. So that's wasting another turn or combat round. But again, the point is it is there. And that's kind of fucking cool. But that's your Azada? Yeah, Azada Eidolon. And again, just to show you what this little bastard looks like. Parade around for me, buddy. Work that runway. You got that? Yeah, walk it. Shake that tushy. What? Looks pretty cool. Kind of dig the guy. And again, he has that same deal with slots. And again, I forgot to point out that weapon slots don't count. Like I can have weapon slots and he can have weapon slots, and it's never the twain shall meet. It's not a problem. As long as he has simple weapon proficiency at least, and he has not only that, but also martial weapon proficiency, he can equip a sword and a board if you give him the shield proficiency as well, and be fine with that. And it's not a problem. And that's actually kind of fucking cool. Same with the belt slots. If they have these belt slots, that doesn't count as the slots we're talking about. These are the slots we're talking about. All this shit up here, obviously not the armor, because again, none of them can wear the armor. So he has access to all of these. But remember, if I'm wearing them, he can't get access to them. I mean, he can use the slot, but it's not going to give him any bonus. So you give him a necklace, and then I put on the crappiest necklace ever on my main character, and now his necklace doesn't fucking work anymore. So that's kind of weird. Just know that that's going to be a thing. So let's load up the next one. Moving on from Azada, we're going to go to the Daemon. I'm going to call him the Daemon, because the Daemon is D-A-E-M-O-N. And he's a trippy little motherfucker. This is a sick son of a bitch. I think it's the Daemon. D-A-E-M-O-N. Yeah, it's him. Daemon Eidolon. This is a little sick son of a bitch. First, stats. He's the A category. Ugly fucking picture. Very cool. Notice how he has claw attack. Chances are I did not purchase that for him. He was given that for free, along with his resist acid. I gave him improved natural armor, which by you can purchase multiple times eventually. Notice that each time you purchase it, it's another +2 to his natural armor. So you can really jack up their armor. Again, touch attack's going to be their weak spot, but armor class and flat-footed armor class can be through the fucking roof with just their improved natural armor increases and their natural armor increases, which come from all these little fuckers up here. So they'll finish with a solid 30, 40, 50 armor class in these two categories if you invest in that sort of thing. But notice, what does he get for free? As a, again, typical summoner, so nothing fancy here. He gets claw attacks for free. That's why he has 2 claw attacks. Resistance to acid at +4 to saves against death effects, disease, and poison. And you better believe it, that's a fucking laundry list of shit. But if he gets immunity to any or all of those things, he's pretty damn cool. Sure enough, he is. I even made my character undead. Remember, charisma is the thing where you can, with these mods, make your character undead, where its con stat's nothing. I floored it and spread the points out as best I could and still managed to get myself a high charisma. So my charisma is acting as my fortitude bonus. See the undead creature? So that's why I'm going to have like a shit ton of HP, and I'm going to put all 5 points in charisma, and he'll be an undead son of a bitch. And he's also controlling a diamond, and I think these are considered. So if demons are chaotic evil, devils are lawful evil, I think the daemons, these little fuckers here, are neutral evil, as you can see. And that's a typical. And they just hate life. So they're just fucking pricks. And the fact that I'm undead kind of made sense, thematically speaking. But again, he got a lot of cool shit at level 1. He gets a cold, electric, and fire resistance 10 at level 4. He gets, and this is a rarity, but not all Eidolons get this. This is nice that he does. A free evolution pool point. And by the end of their build at level 19 and 20, they'll only have 15 evolution points, I believe. And this gives him another 1 for free. So he would be technically someone that can get up to 16, which is not amazing, I grant you, but sometimes that extra point helps. It allows you to purchase some of those bigger things. And again, I'll show you that list at the end. So that's kind of nice that he gets that for free. Up here, he gets DR5 against physical attacks unless it's coming from a good weapon, which is very rare in this game. So that's pretty much guaranteed DR protection from physical attacks. Notice he's immune to death effects, disease, and poison. Remember, as a summoner, you're basically a conjurer, which means poison, like the Stinking Cloud and Cloud Kill, are going to be spells that could be in your repertoire. Highly recommend you grab them. This is a guy that's straight up immune to that shit, so let him fucking tank in the Stinking Cloud. They'll be puking their guts out, and he's going to be having all kinds of fucking fun. So I'm just saying, very nice synergy here, very cool. Acid immunity, again, he loses his resistance to acid, and now he's immune to acid. And again, just because this is given to you free doesn't mean you cannot purchase immunity to acid sooner, because again, you're going to recycle it out. It'll give it to you free, you'll get your points back. Or you could even make yourself immune to fire, cold, or electric if you so choose. So again, that's on you to purchase that with your points. So you can make him tougher than you think. Way down here, he has a very unique ability called Devour. I'm not going to go over it, but basically he gets a bonus to just attack and shit in general, saving throws and skill checks for a big period based on who he kills, or not who he kills, excuse me. When someone dies, he uses the Devour ability on the corpse. And he literally, if they're dying or died like within a round, he can literally go over to them, eat their fucking flesh or whatever, and he gets a sustained bonus for 24 hours based on the hit dice of the monster. +1 for every 5 hit dice. So again, the tougher the guy that just died, and if he remembers to use that Devour ability, he can get a very nice buff for a long, long while. Now, the last part here where, of course, this soul devouring ability means that a resurrection or a more powerful return from dead spell is necessary to bring them back. He's not using it on you, and this is just flavor text, so this is not something that matters in the game. Because none of the bad guys are going to be like, resurrection! It doesn't happen. So, it's his cool ability. And again, remember with the Twin Eidolon, that means you should be able to get that shit too. Again, at a minute to use it, but so what? And I should have pointed out something else. This 1 minute use, you can use it for a number of levels equal to your summoner level. Of course, you have to be level 20, so that implies that you get 20 uses a day for 1 minute each. Every time you re-click that ability, if they have like abilities like this that are like 1 use a day and they're done, like they can't use it more than once a day, you can click this ability, use it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. As far as like maybe there's like a saving throw or some shit. It works or it doesn't work, but you actually activated the ability. You've used your 1 use a day, just like he had 1 use a day. The Twin Eidolon wears off after a minute. You can re-click it, because again, you got 20 uses total, right? You can re-click it, and then you refresh the use of that. The reason this is important is something you can purchase with these guys as you level up with evolution points is like the Dragon's Breath I was talking about. And again, they can only use it once, twice, maybe 3 times a day, depending on what you purchase. And again, you click it, you get that same Dragon's Breath. Once, twice, maybe 3 times a day. But you use them, you're done. You re-click it, you use it 3 more times. You re-click it, you get the idea. So that really is more powerful than you think. And again, not all summoners get that. So that's a very, very cool ability as far as the twin Eidolon ability. Again, a very interesting character. I'm kind of a fan of the way the picture fucking looks. The dude looks disgusting as fuck. And the claw attacks are just going to be fun. The claw attacks are nothing fancy. I mean, it's the 1d4. And again, yes, you can purchase things like weapon focus claw, improve critical for claw, all that shit with his feet picks. He can totally do that shit if you so choose. But a solid character. Let's go from there. Someone's getting arrested. Going from there to the demon. There's 3 Ds. There's the daemon, the demon, and the devil. So this is the demon. And this is the one that I said that you get a male character and they'll give you a female demon. If you were a female character with a male demon. It's actually kind of funny. So they give you a counterpart, opposite sex gender kind of swap thing. I'm not sure what the hell that's about, but it's definitely funny. But she's got a cool pick. She's got the A category, high strength category for physical stats. The typical stuff over here. She got a free claw attack, obviously. Or no. Yeah, and I even did improved damage. So you notice that the claw does 1 to 4 damage. Why is it 1 to 6? Because I purchased with my 1 evolution point for level 1 for her improved damage claw. It only jumps it up to the next highest category. So 1d4 becomes 1d6. If it was already a 1d6 attack, it'd be like 1d8. 1d8 becomes 2d6. You get the idea. It's kind of like when you do enlarged person or you do the lead blades, things of that nature. So that's something that I can repurchase at every level if I so choose. I don't have to. She got claws for free. I was fine making them just a little bit more damage because what the hell else am I going to spend it on? Well, I probably could have put it on armor. But point is you get a lot of cool stuff with her. And again, she's very fun. Now, what is the demon, because this is a demon proper, get? Again, we play the generic summoner, so all the normal stuff is still here. Got claws for free, we saw that. Resistance to electricity and fire, very nice. Remember, starts out at DR5, then goes at DR10 here, and DR15 there, and then never any better. And a bonus to saves against poison. And again, if we get immunity to poison, which is looking like what that is right there, it would be fucking amazing. Now, resistance to acid and cold. So now that's 4 elements you're protected from. The only thing that's missing is Sonic, and Sonic is rare as fuck. So this is a solid, tough son of a bitch. Then, loses her save against poison bonus. She gets immunity to poison, and it's not here, you don't see anything about it, but it says right here she gets another evolution pool point, much like the daemon got, remember, for free. So not only is she immune to poison earlier, which is fucking awesome. Remember that the stinking cloud comes up early. It'd be nice to fucking have someone that's immune to that shit on the party, especially if you're running, kind of solo, I guess. Then this is a character that can do that. And that free evolution point, again, that means from this point on, she's going to have an extra 1. So by level 19 and 20, when she would be normally at 15 evolution points, she's at 16. So it's pretty cool. And again, you can get a lot bang for your buck with those extra points. You'd be surprised. It's because sometimes you're like, oh, if I only had another point, I could make this thing happen. Oh, I'll have to wait to the next level. Oh, damn it. But now she has that ability, which is pretty fucking cool. And of course, you can purchase evolution points with your feats, by the way. Damage reduction, she has DR5/good. So again, physical damage is lessened unless it's from a good weapon, which is not common. She also has an ability increase of your choice, much like we saw with the Azada, where again, and it can be any of those stats. I mean, it doesn't have to be a physical stat, it can be any of the stats. So if charisma was important to you for some fucking reason, maybe you're making a Cornigan Smash build with her, which you could do. She has enough feat picks and enough skill and points and whatever that she can unlock everything she needs to get the Cornigan Smash, Dreadful Carnage, well, maybe not Dreadful Carnage, but Cornigan Smash, Shattered Defenses, Dazzling Display, Weapon Focus, all that shit. And if it's with a claw attack, she could totally rock multiple claw attacks in a combat round and literally be intimidating, and just have all kinds of fun. So maybe you want to put 2 points in charisma or strength just so she hits harder and maybe have intimidating prowess. So again, that's something that she could purchase with her feats. I've done so. It's definitely fun. Pretty damn cool. From there, and remember, that is a permanent increase. So whatever you pick for her, for those +2 ability increase, that's always on. Over here, she loses her electricity resistance. Of course, gets immunity to electricity. Remember the fun we can have with that. Of course, down here, this is really cool. Her ultimate ability, which is kind of lame, you may say, I disagree. She gets permanent true seeing, constantly on. Remember what true seeing does? It like removes the blur displacement effect on the target and invisibility. She can see through all that. There's no mischance. There's not that 20% or 50% concealment. She can see them. She knows exactly what they fucking are and where they are all the time. And remember, you can too, which is fucking cool. You can click that shit and become immune to electricity, see everything, be immune to poison, get a claw attack. Obviously, you have to put your weapons away. You get that DR5/good. Again, you get that evolution increase. I know it sounds stupid. If she had invested in strength, let's say you gave her 2 points in strength permanently, right here, because again, that's what the ability increase evolution is. You say, I want her to have more strength, so 2 more to strength, so now she's at 18, let's just say. If you click that ability, you will get 2 more strength as well. So again, be real choosy on some of those things. You could like crack up her charisma, even though it's not something that she gives a shit about, and I've thought about this. I give a shit about it because I need charisma for my spells, for my DC checks, for, maybe I'm doing an intimidating build as well. Maybe I'm doing the Cornigan Smash. We could work together, shatter defenses, Cornigan Smash, setting each other up. Nothing wrong with that. It's a fun fucking idea. Just saying, there's a lot of cool fun things you can have with the demon character. Now, for the next one, again, just to showcase the character. Shake that tail, sweet pea. All right, now, next one, we have to kind of jump around a little bit because I've leveled this one up. And that's this kukri bastard right here. And this is not a typical summoner. This is a subclass. So let's actually talk about this subclass. This one's called the Devil Binder. And you'll see that it forces you to pick the devil, which is what you're seeing here. And again, I got a male devil. I'm a female character. I'm assuming if I played a male character, I might get a female devil. I don't know that. But you saw it worked that way for the demon. Chances are it probably works for this prick too. But he's not just a devil. He is an actual devil. Unlike a devil Eidolon, who has those cool abilities, which I'm about to show you. So that's all these things down here. So if I play just a normal summoner instead of this devil binder, if I played a normal summoner, I could pick devil and I could get all these things for the devil that you're seeing down here where my cursor is at, okay? All that shit's normal. All this shit up here is because I'm playing the devil binder subclass. This gives the devil that I'm actually binding. This is not an Eidolon so much as it's going to be called an Eidolon, but it's basically I summoned the devil from presumably hell or whatever and made him my bitch. Hence the picture of her with her nice fucking whip choking and devil, which is fucking cool. But he gets, at every other upgrade or every level upgrade, you see he gets another free spell to use a day. So he can do this now. He can do Scorching Ray. He can do Hold Person. So I'm getting a spellcaster for free. Even though he doesn't cast a shit ton of spells, he can get spells level 1 through 9, only 1 each. And eventually down here, he can cast them 3 times a day. So that's 9 spells times 3 a day for this motherfucking devil. So I'm talking 27 spells I get to use a day. Now some of these are kind of crap, like the Protection from Chaos. But the Scorching Ray's fucking money. Hold Person's decent. Crushing Despair. Dominate Person. He gets his own animal summoning. Fucking sweet. He gets Firebrand. He gets Power Stun. And he eventually gets Meteor Swarm. So again, he gets a lot of really good fucking spells. Shit that you wouldn't have access to, because remember, as a summoner, you don't get to level 7, 8, or 9 spells. So these ones would never be in your repertoire. And most of this shit wouldn't be in your repertoire either. I think you might be able to get Crushing Despair. And you definitely could have gotten the Summon Monster 6. But notice, because we're the Devil Binder, we're not getting our free summon spells. Remember, we had the spell-like ability, Summon Monster 1 through 9? We don't have that anymore. Why? Because we're giving this motherfucker his spells. Now, notice we also don't get Twin Eidolon. We don't get any of those Shield Ally, Greater Shield Ally, and all that weird shit. We're still linked to them. So we have Life Link and we have Life Bond. We have the Link, so again, he can't wear armor. He can't wear like a ring if I'm wearing a ring on the same fucking hand. So there's all that shit still applicable. But I get so much more bang for my buck. I also get, now this is me, not the devil, I get Corrupting Touch for free. Multiple uses of that. I get Infernal Resistances, so I'm resistant to poison and fire, and that upgrades by level 9. I get the spell-like ability called Hellfire. It's big AoE. This is something that can do some serious fucking damage for you. And again, you're not immune to it, so be fucking careful. But this is a solid spell, or spell-like ability, and it's up to 3 times a day by the end of the build. That's fucking money. I get Wings for free. Doesn't matter if I was an Asimur or whatever. I don't even have to cast the fucking fly spell on myself. I got Wings at that level from that point on. And again, same thing that Wings always do. +3 to dodge, for melee attacks, immunity to ground-based effects and difficult terrain. And again, I can cast Now Grease at my feet and not slippy slide all over it because I'm hovering over that shit. And that could be fucking money. Saying pretty fucking cool. And then Power of the Pit at level 20, because again I'm not getting into an Eidolon, I get immunity to fire and poison, and then I get acid and cold resistance 10. While that's not amazing, fire immunity, we do have some fire spells that I'd love to stand in, and immunity to poison, I have some poison spells I'd love to stand in and not be affected. So at level 20 I'm getting all the shit I'd really kind of want anyway. So this is a really fun idea for a build for a summoner in my opinion. So the one person specifically asked for a summoner build and they didn't say what they wanted. I'm probably going to make you this one just to show you. And then this is not the build. I'm just toying around with the idea. But I wanted to show you that this shit was all applicable. And I wanted to prove to myself that these were actually for me. It says it was, but sometimes the tooltips are wrong. These ones, just like it says, is for the Eidolon. So the Eidolon gets a bonus to his charisma. 2 points at level 4, 2 more at 8, 2 more at 12, and at 16, and at 20. So that motherfucker's getting a plus 10 to his charisma. Look at that shit. I even put another point in there just to fucking bring him up to an even number. He's got a 22 fucking charisma. So you better believe, guess what I did with him? Yeah, that's right. He's a fucking Cornigan Smash building son of a bitch. Shatter defenses, Cornigan Smash, intimidating prowess, all that shit's in here. And he's going to go around with his multiple claw attacks and just scare the fuck out of the bad guys and just tear through their hearts. It's going to be fun as hell. So again, pretty fucking solid. He has his own spells. I have extra abilities that I shouldn't normally have. I still have my spell repertoire, and I can still pick. Remember, I'm getting this summoning spell in the ones below it, level 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If I want, I can pick those as my spells as well. So I can summon. I can even summon elementals. You know, the large, the huge, the small, the medium elementals. I get those spells to pick from if I so choose. So again, still a good conjurer build as far as I'm concerned. Hell, this motherfucker even gets Smite Chaos. That's the devil guy. There's a special ability once a day. I think he can use that. Oh, no, it looks like he's got multiple uses a day. Fucking pretty sweet. Up to 5. Woo! Very nice. But again, just a nice all-around, and this is based on like a Hell Knight. So a pretty badass son of a bitch that he gets to be. So he is better than the Devil Eidolon. And what does a Devil Eidolon, a normal Devil Eidolon get? That's all this shit down here. They get claws, resistance to fire, a bonus skill in persuasion. That's like a big +6 to their persuasion. And remember, if I'm doing the intimidating prowess, which you better believe I'm fucking doing on this son of a bitch, what's his persuasion looking at right now? That's the skill persuasion +6. That's a racial bonus he's getting at level 1. And he's getting Boku charisma from just being leveled up as a devil binder. So again, he's got a really nice devil binder point. And I didn't invest but 10 ranks in that fucking shit. He's rocking at 25. And remember, I have intimidating prowess. He's got a fucking shit ton of strength I invested in this son of a bitch as well. And you can see he's got a +10 to that. So now add that 25 and 10 together. He's got a 35 for an intimidation check. It's pretty fucking high. So that Cornigan Smash is probably going to fucking land is my point. Again, very, very cool. What else do we got for him? Acid and cold resistance 10. Sounds sweet. We have poison immunity by level 8. Again, money. I got DR5 against good, or physical attacks that aren't good, excuse me. Again, that's okay. That's more likely to fucking work, so that's nice. He has fire immunity eventually. Sweet. He has regeneration. Unless it's a good weapon or good spells that will stop that from generating. But you know, he takes enough damage he'll die, so it's not like he's immortal like a troll or some shit. But he heals. And why is that important? Well, remember, you had that cool life link ability? We can transfer health to him from ourselves. I don't think we can siphon health from him. If that's true, if we can, which I don't think we can do, let's actually take a quick gander at that. Where is it? I have... Summoners is 0 hit point. Yeah, I do have it. So I can basically, if I turn life bond on and I start dying, if I start losing HP, it'll siphon HP from him. But remember, at level 20, he regenerates. So he heals back the fuck up from that shit. And again, I can keep siphoning fucking health from the son of a bitch. This is fucking awesome. This is a nice little combo then because of his regenerative ability. He's less likely to die, and he's keeping me alive because I'm sucking his life force. That's a fucking tough little duo right there. Just saying. That's definitely worth considering for a solid team. And I kind of dig that shit. Now, yeah, we're missing the twin Eidolon, but really, you didn't need it. They gave you plenty to work with as you're leveling up. Free wings, kick-ass spell-like abilities, some resistances and immunities. Hell, even Corrupting Touch, which is kind of lame. Look what this does. Becomes Shaken. It's a melee touch attack. Remember, I'm a dex-based character. I did this on purpose, so it's weapon finessable. I can walk over there with a melee touch attack, and half my summoner level for how many rounds it lasts, and it shakens the target. Well, what does that mean? Shakens the target? Remember, that's the same thing that Corner Against Smash, the intimidation check, does. Makes them scared. And if they're already shaken because of me, guess who I just set up with his Shattered Defenses? He has the ability, if they're shaken, frightened, or panicked, and I can make them shaken, they're now flat-footed to his attacks. Easier for him to fucking hit them. So again, a really nice synergy that we got going here. This will be a very fun build. I've just yet to tweak it out, but it's coming. But that's the Devil. Well, the Devil and the Devil Binder, be real clear. So this is the Devil. Eidolon would just get this generic shit. All this other cool shit is specifically because we went Devil Binder. So that's that one. And again, it looks fucking cool. Left a little glowing blood hand thing going on there. Let's see, what do we got after the Devil? Looks like we're looking for our elementals. All right. So, is that Scimitar? No. I don't think so. I think it's Sling Staff. All right. Now there's 4 elements. Obviously, there's air, fire, earth, and water. But there's 2 different sets of these. So I'm showing you the pet, quote-unquote, versions, the ones that look like animals-ish. So here's the earth one. Looks pretty fucking tits. Kind of like a bullet. If you guys know what a bullet is in this game, then this is kind of what a bullet looks like to me anyway. And of course, this is my summoner right here. Had a nice picture for her. You don't see the full picture, which is a damn shame, but she has a fire-breathing looking monster next to her, which is what this guy is. Hence the picture here. Kind of fits perfectly for what he is, even though he's literally an earth elemental. I can give him fire breath and fire weapon attacks if I so choose. These guys fall, or this particular guy, I should say, the earth quadruped is what they call him, the quadruped Eidolon. Yeah? The category B physical stats. So again, okay strength, okay dex, not amazing at either. But he's a nice mid-ground for both of those things. And again, that will get better over time thanks to your physical prowess. So this will finish at a 21 and at 21 without any help. He gets a bite attack, as you see. And what else does he get? So all the earth elementals, whether we're talking the humanoid version or this guy, has almost the same abilities here. I'll show you where the differences are. For example, the humanoid doesn't get a bite, they get slam. So they get the punch, right? It's not a punch, it's called slam, but that's what they'll get. But everything else is the same. So they have immunity to acid at level fucking 1. They have immunity to paralysis and sleep. That's fucking money. Well, I don't have any of those spells on hand. Sleep spell, for example, I don't have it ever. But the paralysis, we get a whole monster or a whole person spell, I think, at some point in your build, or you could if you want. And that's cool that he would be immune to that shit. That's fucking cool. And that's, like I said, at level fucking 1. That makes him really nice. At level 4, they get an extra evolution pool point. So either of them, whether it's the humanoid version or the quadruped version, this particular, because he's the earth elemental, they all get, both of them I should say, get immunity to combat maneuvers. What's that? That's like bull rush, trip, disarm, all that fucking weird shit. They can't be tripped by wolves anymore. That's fucking awesome. And because remember he has that, this particular one has the bite ability. Because he has bite, I can buy as an evolution, with evolution points, the ability to trip with his bite. So he could be like the wolf that runs up and bites somebody and they fall down, which is fucking funny. But that's a nice immunity. And the earth one gets this, and so do, both earth ones get this, and so does both of the water elementals, if I'm not mistaken. Immunity, notice this, all elementals, all of them, all 8. So again, 4 humanoid versions and 4 animal-ish versions get this. Immunity to bleed, poison, and stun, and they can't be flanked. They all get it at level 12. And that can't be flanked, that's fucking sweet. Then, if that's not good enough at level 16, they all, the same 8, get the same thing again. They're immune to crits and sneak attacks. Jesus Christ, this is a tough son of a bitch already, right? Then wait, because this one's the earth one, then this is where it changes up again. Both the earth elementals, the humanoid and the quadruped, get DR5/dash. What's the dash mean? That means nothing penetrates that. Well, that's not true. But nothing in this game that you're in a fight is going to have the stuff that would penetrate that. So he's sucking up 5 points of damage guaranteed from all physical attacks. Every attack. And they all get both of them get a natural bonus to attacks, damage, and combat maneuver. So again, if I give them the trip ability, that's a combat maneuver check because of his bite. That means he's better at tripping. It's not amazing, it's only a +1, but fuck it, I'll take it. It's fucking cool. And remember, because we're the normal summoner here, see that summoner level 1? To an Eidolon, baby, I can copy all that shit for myself. I can be immune to sneak attacks. I can be immune to crits. I could be immune to all this fucking bleed, poison, and stun, and just never be flanked again. Just fucking amazing son of a bitch that I can be only 20 minutes or 1 minute increments at a time, 20 times a day. But fuck it, I'll take it. That's not bad. And again, I love the look of that little son of a bitch. He is definitely baller. And again, the humanoid version, just so because I never made him for this video anyway, I have made him just to see what he does. He does get the slam, like I said. He has to be your main character. It has to purchase him to get the slam, otherwise it glitches. But he basically just looks like a big rock armored dude. That's all. There's nothing particularly fancy about him. But the slam means he does get 2 attacks in a combat round at level 1, where his bite is only 1 attack in a combat round. The slam is here and here. You would see 2 punches. Pow, pow. So the humanoid technically is better damage, and his physical stats change, of course, too. The humanoid gets the 16, 12, and 13, if I'm not mistaken on that. So again, slightly different, but everything else is basically the same. And that's your earth elemental. Let's load up the... I'm not sure if I got the fire or electric. I think I got the electric next. Yeah, I think this is the electric. And this is the pet, the animal version. So the quadruped air elemental. Looks like a fucking electric leopard. His head's on fire for reasons I don't know. But that's this little son of a bitch. His physical stats wise, again, he's the Midland motherfucker, the what I call category B. So okay strength and dex, and that's basically it. Gets a bite attack, as you can see. What else does he get? So again, comparing him to his counterpart, the air elemental, that's the humanoid version. And when I made that one before, it was a female that looked like she was made of smoke, and she had like a wind swirling around her all the time at her feet and around her head and everything. So it looked pretty fucking cool. But by and large, again, she's going to get slammed. This one gets bite. Other than that, paralysis and sleep immunity, electric immunity, that was the same for both of them. And they both get the extra evolution pool point. They both get the flight evolution. So he's going to get wings for free. So will the humanoid version. And again, just like what Fly gets, remember, +3 to dodge for melee attacks, immunity to ground-based effects and difficult terrain. And again, that's something you can capitalize on. That's pretty sweet. Then immunity to bleed, poison, and stun and flank, just like all elementals do. Same with the sneak attack and crits, like all elementals do. At the capstone ability, the air elementals, both of them, get this ability called the whirlwind ability. So if you ever seen the large elementals that you fight, they'll put their arms out, they'll fucking spin in a goddamn circle, doing damage to everybody. So it's not teammate friendly. So this is my least favorite ability, quite frankly. But you can send it in and fucking let it fucking whirligig around and just fucking Tasmanian devil their ass. I don't know. It'd be kind of fucking cool. And again, because we're the generic summoner, I have the twin Eidolon. I can literally copy all these abilities, including that whirlwind ability, 20 times a fucking day. And I can fly, and I'm immune to all that shit, and blah, blah, blah. Pretty fucking cool. And again, I like the look of the little bastard. This is a fucking trippy looking air Eidolon. You see the little swirling wind around the character. This is what's around the humanoid version as well. You'll see like this around the feet of the humanoid. But that's that one. And again, pretty damn cool. Let's go to, I think we're up to water. And then fire is the last one, I believe. So let's see, that's Dark Javelin. So this one's this guy here. No, I think this is the fire one. Is it? Fire, is it water? No, it's the water. Okay, so now the water one is a little different. Obviously, you can see it's not an animal. It looks like a water goddamn elemental, but they call it a serpentine. So this is the serpentine Eidolon for the water elemental version. So obviously there's a humanoid version as well. Again, it looks like a woman. It's just made of water. At least it was last time. Again, maybe if I played a different race or different sex of character, maybe it would have been a male made of water. But this one here always looks the same. Notice that this doesn't have the Midland stats. This is the category C, 12 strength, 16 dex. So it's a dex-based build. And again, yeah, they're going to get 7 more strength, and yes, they're going to get 7 more dex. So this is going to finish on a 19, and this is going to finish on a 23. If you don't invest anything else in it, that's what you'll finish at by level 15 of this build. And that's cool. That's really, really good. You should have probably weapon finesse on this guy. It's not going to be leaps and bounds better, but a +2 better swing is a +2 better swing. And yes, bite attacks that I got for free is weapon finessable. Right now I don't have weapon finesse, so of course it's keying off of that crappy ass strength, so he's very bad at attacking. Once you get level 2, you get a free feat. I highly recommend weapon finesse. And then suddenly this will jump up 2 extra fucking ability attack bonus increases. So that's not bad. It's a solid bite attack. Again, particularly tough. I gave him improved natural armor for free, so that's another +2. Notice he already had natural armor. So again, high dex, extra armor twice. Again, he's going to have a really, really good armor class by the end of his build. He gets all that improved evasion and evasion shit. Remember, he's going to have a high reflex because he has high dexterity. It's going to be a solid dodging motherfucker. So again, he's very similar to the Earth Elemental in that regard. As far as what you give, again, just a normal summoner build. So all the typical stuff up here. So what does he get? Again, bite. The other one would be a slam attack twice. All the same things. Notice this one also gets a tail slap though. So he actually is considered to have a tail, and that's actually useful. Because I think there's an evolution that you can buy that only if they have the tail slap can they use it. It's like a special trip ability or something, or a constriction, that's what it is. For free, that you can purchase. Allows you to use the tail to wrap around the guy and crush them. So it's like an extra free attack. Pretty fucking cool. And immune to cold, because again, he's water elemental. Again, got the free evolution point. This one gets just like the earth elemental. Both versions of the water elemental get the immunity to combat maneuvers. So again, no tripping, no bull rushing, all that cool shit. Fucking nice. Makes them stay stationary. I don't have to worry about them that much. The same immunities that all elementals get here and here. And at the end, he gets a freeze ability like the large water elementals do. Both of the water elementals get that version. And again, I don't really know what that does other than probably a paralysis effect. And again, if you're a normal summoner, of course you have Twin Eidolon, you can copy all that shit yourself too. Remember, the immunity to trip alone is money. And again, the ability to put it on your main character for 20 minutes at a time, that's fucking sweet. That could come in some serious handy. Just saying, so there's some really good stuff here. From there, it's time for the fire gun. And it's just, of course, just to show him off a little bit. Look at him. He's leaving drippy dowels everywhere. What a good bastard. From there, we need to shoot the fire guy. Let's see. That's probably it right there. Yep. Scimitar fire. Note it. Scimitar fire is actually a little more interesting to me than the other three. I like the earth one just for the fucking look of him, the general toughness. And it's not because he looks like a big fire kitty. I like that, don't get me wrong. The reason I like him is what you'll see for his special abilities by the time he gets to level 20. But again, it's just the same general stats. The Midland Category B physical stats, so okay strength and dex, nothing really superior in either way. What does he get? A bite. Obviously, the other one we get the slam twice. Other than that's the same stuff, and of course immunity to fire. And you do, by the way, as a summoner, have a few fire spells. Not many, but you have a few fire spells that are persistent, like you have Tar Pool, you have Obsidian Flow, I believe, and you even get Wall of Fire, even though none of those are conjuration. Those are all like evocation or transmutation spells. That is in your repertoire. You could pick those. You don't have to, but you could. And again, you could stand in Wall of Fire at level goddamn 1. Just be standing there, tanking a motherfucker, and watching their flesh fucking burn off. Just pretty fucking cool. Got the same evolution point free. Notice that instead of flying or anything fancy, he just gets plus 20 to speed. Same with the humanoid version. They just run faster, like all fire elementals do. So they're spread, if you will, like wildfire. So they run faster. That's their catch. The same immunities here and here. Notice, of course, he has the burn ability, which the large fire elementals get. I'm assuming that's just a big AoE burn patch that you slap on the ground. But notice this also. This is the one thing he gets that the other three don't. It's one of the reasons I like him best. Him and the humanoid version get what's called Energy Attack Fire Evolution for free. Now again, I could purchase that for any of my Eidolons. Doesn't even matter that they're elemental or not. I could purchase this for every last one of them. If I wanted anyone to do extra fire damage per attack, that's what I'd buy. So all that does is it turns whatever his attacks are, claws, bite, constriction, any physical attack that he has, does like 1d6 of fire damage. That's all that means. But it's free. And again, I'll fucking appreciate that. And again, I can do that shit right here with my Twin Eidolon ability. So again, pretty fucking cool. And that's your fire guy. From there, we got Clockwork. Now I call him Clockwork. It's actually called the Inevitable Eidolon. The Inevitable Eidolon is a clockwork monster. It is a golem, basically. Doesn't look particularly fancy. This is the only kind you get. I don't know if I get a male and female version, but I definitely get the male version every time, but I probably always pick a female version or character to play, so maybe that's my problem. But he's clearly big. See that? That's obvious. You see that he has the category A stats. So again, high strength, okay dex, decent con, everything else is normal. He gets slam twice. Again, assuming he's the Eidolon of the main character. If he's a mercenary, this is missing. His hands are empty and he can't swing a weapon. So it's very fucking stupid. But he's decent. Like I said, he's a solid character. As far as what he brings to the table for Inevitable, you might be really fucking surprised with this guy. So first off, level 1, what does he get? First, I should have pointed out that all outsiders, or all Eidolons, excuse me, are considered outsiders for purposes of Bane weapon and special abilities and shit like that. So if anyone's attacking you and your team, and they got like some kind of bonus against outsiders, your Eidolons are going to drop real fucking fast. This one's also considered a construct and an outsider, so he falls under 2 categories. He really gets boned very quickly. That's a problem. This means you need to protect the motherfucker. No big deal. But what does he get? He gets the Slam Evolution. That's the 2 punches that you just saw a moment ago. +4 bonus to saves against death effects, disease, necromancy effects, paralysis, poison, sleep, and stun. That's a fucking laundry list of shit that he's resistant to. And if he gets immunity to any or all of those things, you better believe he's going to be a fun son of a bitch to play. Well, what does he get? He gets immunity, or gets he gets a +4 bonus to saves against mind effects. That's awesome. It's harder to control the motherfucker. I like that. And then he gets this, immunity to non-lethal damage, which I have no idea what the fuck that means. Fatigue and exhaustion. If this was immunity to non-magic damage, I could believe that. But non-lethal, it doesn't exist in this game as far as I know. Everything can kill you, so I don't know what the hell that means. But fatigue and exhaustion, I know what those mean, and having him immune to those, it's fucking money. Then we get immunity 2 over here, where he's immune to death effects, disease, and poison. And again, death effects, disease, and poison is kind of your thing. I think we even have like a disease spell or 2 in there. So again, we got some really fun shit that we can capitalize on this, and that's at level 8 again. Then he gets DR5/chaotic, which is not a common weapon in the game. Chaotic weapons just rarely exist. And he's immune to sleep at this point. Fucking sweet. Then, no, this fuck gets better. Immune to ability damage, ability drain, and energy drain. So all those fucking ghost attacking sons of bitches out there can suck my left nut from the right side. Because this guy can just fucking tank it like a champ. It's fucking sweet. Then, he gets immunity to paralysis, stun, and any effect that requires a fortitude save. Fucking Christ, man. This dude is immune to damn near everything. And remember, just like all other of these fuckers, he gets evasion and improved evasion, so if you really make sure his reflexes are relatively decent, he's damn near immune to reflex save shit too. He takes like 0 damage from it if he makes the check, half damage if he fails it. He's really, really going to be a tough son of a bitch. And I'm just saying, he's definitely going to be a fun one to play. I can really see this as being an issue. And remember, you can get all those immunities too by clicking that button for a minute at a time. Really fucking baller. I think you guys will like this. I made it a gnome character for obvious reasons. A, the picture, but also gnomes are known for their clockwork ability. So I said, fuck it. And remember, gnomes and halflings get a bonus to charisma. Yes, the gnomes get a bonus to con, and halflings get a bonus to dex as well, and a penalty to strength, but so what? I don't need to be a strength-based character. My pet can do that shit. Let him fucking run it and just crush some shit, because he's got that nice, sweet category A stats where he's a high strength. And you better believe I'm going to capitalize on that shit with some power attack and just bludgeon some shit to death. It's going to be fucking sweet. Just saying. So the Inevitable Eidolon, he's a fun one. And of course looks like a generic little stupid Colossus boy. From there, we have 2 more to talk about. So last one here that's not special is called Protean. It's this little fucker here. Protean is actually kind of cool. I thought Protean, when I think Protean, I think of like amorphous blob shit, you know, like a pudding or something like that. Apparently it means snake person. That's your Protean right there. And that's what he looks like at level fucking 1, man. Fucking got a couple little chubby arms. He's got a fucking bite attack, of course. He's got a tail, so I think he gets a tail slap for free. Basically, you get a little snake guy. He's definitely creepy, but he's fucking cool, and I like my little dude. But what does Protean get? So first, he's that weird category C, where he's better at dex than he is at strength. Much like the water elemental, that's the serpentine. He's a serpentine Eidolon too. So they're basically the same stats as far as that's concerned. And again, it gets the bite attack. It's keying off the strength right now. Highly recommend that you get him a finesse build so that he can capitalize on that high dexterity. From there, though, typical stuff over here, nothing fancy. What does he get, though? Well, for a normal summoner, he's going to get a bite. We saw that. Tail slap, we didn't see that, but it's there. He has resistance to acid. Remember, acid was your fucking thing. You are a summoner. Acid's like one of the big spells that you have in your list. You get a lot of acid pit, you get acid fog. There's probably another one in there that I'm just forgetting about, like a corrosive touch. I mean, obviously you're not going to touch them with it, but the point is you're an acid person. And I bring that up because if you wanted to go Dragon Disciple, you can go Dragon Disciple as a summoner. So if you did only like a 4-level dip, I would recommend probably, in all honesty, that you pick an acid dragon type, because you'll get extra damage for your acid spells. You can do fire, because you have enough fire spells to do that. It's worth a damn. But I'd still rather you be acid. It makes more sense. And you only have like one cold spell. You have, I think, no electric damage spells. You can have your pets do that if you want to, though. But again, decent starting set of buffs. Then he gets electric resistance and sonic resistance of all weird ass fucking things. But hey, I'll take it. It's free. He gets constriction. This is another evolution that's free. The only ones that can do that are the ones that have a tail. He gets it for fucking free, so that's a free attack. So now he has a bite, a tail slap, and a constriction all in the same fucking round. And it's just, you'll just see it as just a random. It doesn't do anything special. It's just like he gets an extra attack. Damage reduction. He has DR5/lawful. Again, not very common to find lawful weapons in the game, because you're usually the guy beating up on them, and they probably have chaotic or evil weapons. He gets blind sense. This is another evolution that you can pick up, and just like it sounds, blind sense, just like it is in the game. He's no longer surprised by invisible targets or any of that shit. He doesn't suffer any real nasty penalties from that. And blind sense is not blind sight. Blind sight is another evolution that you can purchase. Hell, you could have purchased blind sense too, but you have to purchase them in order. So blind sense first, then it unlocks blind sight. If you have enough points, you can buy blind sight. Well, now that we get blind sense for free, you better believe that I probably want to purchase blind sight, because that's basically, I can fucking see invisible all the goddamn time. And fuck you for even suggesting it, you son of a bitch. And he gets free wings, because he gets the flight evolution for free. So he's immune to like ground-based effects. He's better at defensive melee. He's got all that fucking shit going for him. He's just crushing it. Now, he gets a bigger immunity. So his acid resistance goes away and becomes immune to acid. Fucking sweet. Didn't need it, but hey, I'll fucking take it. Now, he also gets a thing called amorphous anatomy. And this is at level 16. This is not the capstone ability, by the way. This is just the level 16 ability. He basically has ability to shift his organs around. And as such, he's ability to be sneak attack or critted is lessened by 50%. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean less damage. It just means that if someone could crit you, there's a 1d100 die roll. If it's 50 or less, it didn't crit. It still hit, but it didn't crit or sneak attack. It still hit. There's no sneak attack damage. If it's above 50, so 51 to 100, then sneak attack and crit as applicable. But that's money. That's still protection. And wait, it gets better. Keep reading. A protean, which is what Eidolon is, automatically recovers from physical blindness or deafness after one round by growing new sensory organs to replace those that were compromised. I'm blind, I can't see shit. Oh, I got eyes on my nipples now. Oh, fuck, I can see your ass. It's totally fucking hilarious. I love this little bastard. Then, wait, the capstone ability. Permanent, and I mean permanent, constant freedom of movement for the motherfucker. He can never be paralyzed again. He doesn't get slowed by any of that shit. Not a problem. And wait, yet again, once a day, he gets the greater polymorph spell-like ability. Now, for those of you that don't know what that means, he gets to turn into all kinds of fucking shit. He can turn into a fucking dragon. And he looks like a little mini dragon already. So I just love the fact that he can suddenly get his big boy pants on. But wait, we're not done yet, because remember this right here? Yeah, that's right, buddy. I have 20 uses a day of permanent immunity, for freedom of movement and all the other cool shit that he has, and that greater polymorph ability. That's a 1 use a day thing, right? Not for me, because I got 20 uses, baby. So I can greater polymorph, a spell that I would normally not have access to. I can fucking turn into a dragon and be dragon buddies with them side by side, kicking ass. And you may say, well, this wears off after a minute. So yeah, I can see it be useful, but it's only going to be like a minute, so it's like a little skirmish fight. Sure, this wears off after a minute, but if you use the spell-like ability, greater polymorph, it lasts the full 20 minutes, baby, because I'm a level 20 caster. So it literally takes that one spell and turns it into a 20-minute buff, and then this wears off, and I'm still in my dragon form for like 19 more goddamn minutes. And it's fucking tits. Or shambling mound, or whatever else I turn into. But there's like a fucking, because it's greater polymorph. It's the big one. You get to turn into like dragons. You can turn into a fucking wyvern, shambling mound. I think you can turn into like a treant or some shit. Maybe like a mastodon. There's just like a random amount of fucking shit you can turn into. And again, because of the twin Eidolon, I get that 20 times a day. That's fucking sweet. And again, some serious fun that can be had here. And again, I love the fact that he's already an acid guy, so he's resistant to acid, then he's immune to acid, and acid's kind of my thing. I can see this being a really strong contender. And he fucking just looks fucking cool. Look at that little buddy over there. He's just smiling, failing about it. He's happy. That's his happy face. But that's that one. Now there is one, well actually two more to talk about. One that I have done and one that we're going to make. So one that we're going to talk about is the Fae. This one is another separate class. So you can't get Fae Eidolon unless you take the Fae Caller, which is what this one is. The Fae Caller is the class, the subclass of Summoner, and you'll notice that some of the abilities are the same, some of them are different. Remember that Summon Monster 1 through 9? Now it's Summon Nature's Ally 1 through 9, and those are different. Still summonings, they're still conjurings. So if you get spell focus conjuration and augmented summoning and superior summoning, like I would do for most of my summoner builds, these would still benefit from all that shit. Okay? So that's still cool, and it's the same general principle. The Fae Caller can't have these out when the Eidolon's out. Your Eidolon is a big tree bitch. We'll show you her in a second. But basically, these can be out. She can't be out while these are out, right? But again, while I have these as spell-like abilities, I do not get these as spell-like or spell abilities as I level up. I still get Summon Monster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if I so choose. I still get Summon Elemental, small, medium, large, huge, or whatever is available to me. That's still in my book if I want it. So again, there's still plenty of reasons to be a conjurer, and you are. Let's just not dance around it. Just because you're a Fae Caller doesn't mean you're not a conjurer. You're fucking crushing it. You still get all the cool shit up here. Hell, you even still get Twin Eidolon up here. Now, what does this little bastard have to offer? Now, before we get into it, let me point out three types of Eidolons that I'm a big fan of. One was the Devil, specifically the Devil Binder subclass, because of all his free spells. Remember, he had spells level 1 through 9. 1 use a day for each of those spells, and at the end of the build, or just before the end of the build, he got 3 uses a day of each of those spells. That's 27 fucking spells a day that some bitch can cast. That's pretty fucking cool. The one you haven't seen yet is the Twinned Eidolon that will look just like your character. That's why I want to show it to you, because it fucking looks cool. And they get spell-like abilities based on your spells from your spell books. Like they're copying your spells, because they're like your doppelganger, if you will. That's what I actually call them. This character is my other third favorite, and it's because this one also gets spells, as you're going to see. And you get to pick the spells for this one, sort of. This is a very limited list, but it's kind of cool. So now, what does the Fae get? Well, notice that they get to pick, specifically they get to pick a skill. This one's use magic device because that's what I gave her. It could have been anything. Excuse me, goodness. Notice I get for use magic device, she has +6 because of that. Okay, it could have been on anything. I gave it use magic device because remember, she has a belt slot. Belt slots are not slots like hers. So again, if she has stuff in her belt slot like a bunch of wands, she can have wands in her slots as well and still use them. These are the slots that are special. Remember, these are the ones that are tied to the other person. Not the belt slots here, and not the weapons. Yeah, I need to drink a milk. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, my goodness. That was different. Yeah, scratchy throat. Oh, yeah. Anyway. So she has the ability to use magic devices. That's my point. Because of that, I'm like, well, you know, she doesn't have the best charisma ever. We can work on that. But let's actually give her some wands as we're leveling her up so that she can be a spontaneous or a side caster, if you will. In combat, if I need, I give her like a magic wand of magic missile or some shit like that, so that she can do something. Is my point. But from there, what else do we get? Oh, and of course, I should have pointed out that she's the category A, high strength, low dex category. But what else does she get? Well, she also gets slam. It doesn't say it here, but you can look at it on the character sheet. You see right here where it says slam, slam. Go to abilities, scroll down to the bottom, you see she got slam. She got a skill. I picked use magic device. You could pick whatever. Hell, it could be trickery. Let her be your sneak thief, bitch. Nothing wrong with that. And they gave her with the 1 evolution point that you get at level 1. I purchased improved natural armor to make her a little tougher, because she's not very dexterous. Even though Fae, I mean, this is a weird opportunity where honestly this one should have been at 12-16 in my opinion, because Fae are not really known for being strong, known for being like nimble little bitches. So it's kind of weird, but whatever. I ain't gonna complain. This character also gets, as she levels up though, free woodland stride. Remember, that only means that she's immune to difficult terrain. Not ground-based effects, difficult terrain. Difficult terrain comes from a variety of things like entangled. Notice the next one here, Fae Magic 1. She has 3 different Fae Magics that she's going to get, and she can get it multiple times. Fey Magic 1 allows her to pick any one of these spells. 1. Entangle, like the picture indicates here. That's a ground-based effect, or a difficult terrain that she'd be immune to. She could get Grease. She would not be immune to Grease. Obscuring Mist, or Vanish. She can pick any one of those 4. She can use that 3 times a day. Notice at level 16, she gets to pick another one from this list. So if you are hemming and hawing between Grease and Entangle, don't. Pick Entangle, because Grease, A, you can cast Grease if you pick it. And then 2, later on at level 16, you can pick up Grease or Obscuring Mist if you wanted, or Vanish, which I wouldn't do. It's really the first 3 that are the special ones to me. And again, you have the ability to cast Grease and Obscuring Mist yourself. You cannot cast Entangle, and she's immune to Entangle, so this would be a good one. And Entangle's a big area of effect. So that's a really nice spell for her to get for free 3 times a goddamn day. Wait. Then she gets Resistance and Wings. Now we get some serious fun. So first off, DR5/Cold Iron. Not very common to have bad guys with cold iron weapons. So that's pretty reliable damage reduction. Then she gets the Flight evolution by getting Wings. So again, she was immune to difficult terrain. Now she's immune to difficult terrain and ground-based effects. And has better dodge against melee attacks. She's fucking crushing it now. So now Grease is important. We'll pick it up later. Then she gets Fey Magic 2, not 1, 2, and she can pick one of these spells and use it 3 times a day. Blindness, Glitter Dust, Hideous Laughter, Invisibility, Mirror Image. Now of these, you can pick what you want. I like Hideous Laughter and I like Mirror Image. Why? Because these are 2 spells that I can't cast. I can cast Glitter Dust. I can cast Invisibility, I think. I definitely can get Greater Invis, I know that. And Blindness, I might not be able to cast that, but I don't care. It's not that good of a spell. It's a save or suck spell proper. Glitter Dust is AoE though. That shit can blind too, but it can blind multiple. And even if they've passed the check for avoiding being blinded, remember they're coated with the dust. So that means if they were invisible, now they're not. So there's a use for Glitter Dust. Hideous Laughter, on the other hand, that's a nice spell that we didn't have access to. And Mirror Image is a spell that I don't have access to. The fact that she has it, she'd be really tanky up front with that Mirror Image out there, right? Just saying. And that's something that she can cast 3 times a day. Money. Then right below it, again, is Fey Magic 1 again. Remember, it said here, you can pick 2 different spells, 1 here and 1 here. So now you can go back and pick up Grease or whatever. And again, get 3 more uses a day of that son of a bitch. Wait, then there's some more. Then there's Fey Magic 3. So now this one, first, she gets her DR up to 10/Cold Iron now. Really nice protection. And again, not very common in the game. So really, really sweet. Then she can pick one of these spells and only use it once a day. Now watch this. She gets Waves of Ecstasy, Mass Invisibility, Greater Invisibility, or Cloak of Dreams. Cloak of Dreams or Waves of Ecstasy would be the 2 that I would probably go for. And you may say, well, Greater Invisibility, that'd be awesome. Sure it is. It's only once a day, and I have that spell. And Greater Invisibility, for those of you that don't remember, you can cast that on a friend, which includes your Eidolon. So again, why give me a spell that I already have access to, probably? Get the shit that's unique. So Cloak of Dreams, that's money. That one's dangerous though. That's why I say pay attention. Cloak of Dreams is a sleep spell that's centered on the person that's casting it. In this case, her. So she's got the cloak, quote unquote, of dreams on herself. Anyone, and I mean anyone, that is not immune to sleep, including your team and you, that stands near her in a combat round, will do a saving throw, and if they fail it, they go nappy nap bye-bye time. That's dangerous. So I made a mistake of making this a human character. What you should have done, if you're going to play a Fae, and I know it sounds silly, because it doesn't lend itself for the build because it's an intelligence dex-based build, whereas you want a dex charisma-based build, but you should play an elf. Male or female, doesn't matter. They're immune to sleep spells, including, I believe, Cloak of Dreams. So that's okay. And at that point, she can cast that spell on herself, and you can be side by side with your little Eidolon buddy, and she's napping the guys, and you're coup de grace the motherfuckers for like super crit damage. See the fun you can have here? Wait, we're still not done. So that's Fey Magic 3. Then back down here, you can get Fey Magic 1 or 2 yet again. So again, you can get 3 spells from here if you so choose. I would not. I would get, like I said, Entangle and Grease. Probably call it good. Then here, I would get Hideous Laughter and Mirror Image. Your choice in which order you grab those. But again, on you. There's no wrong answer here, but there's bad answers here. Invisibility is just dumb. Let's just say it. So again, she can have some serious goddamn fun with all the spells that she gets. And so she's getting 2 level, well, I'm going to call level 1, even though it's magic level 1. So it's Fey Magic 1. She can get 2 Fey Magic 1 spells. She's going to get 2 Fey Magic 2 spells. And she'll get 1 Fey Magic 3 spell. So that's a total of 2, 4, 6, no, 5. 5 spells that she has that she can cast 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, and 1 time a day. That's a lot. That's not bad for someone who's not supposed to be a caster, and that's pretty fucking cool. And I can supplement it by having her shut off when she's done, or she's out of spells or dying or whatever. You know, de-summon her, whatever the fuck they call it, and then start summoning out my weird ass fucking natural allies. And these guys are kind of weird. Some of these guys even have spells, because I never dip into these abilities. These are the druid summoning abilities. That's why I never touch them. But that's the Fae. And again, you have to be a Fae caller to unlock the Fae. So that's the second to last one. The last one is the one we're going to make right now. So, and again, she's always female, but I could be mistaken on that. If I was a male character, it might be a male guy. I don't want to load. Damn it. No, go it. I want to go to main menu because we need to make you a new character. So, we're going to make you the twinned Eidolon and the twin summoner. Okay? What that is whatever you make your character look like. Half orc, halfling, human, elf, whatever you physically look like, your Eidolon's going to look just like you. You have to be the main character to do this. If you don't, again, it glitches. Not only does it glitch, but it glitches horribly. They give you the goddamn saber-toothed tiger. If you're the mercenary that picks this, you get a saber-toothed tiger, and it still behaves like it's a human, which means it can wield weapons, and it's stupid. It's very glitchy. So just pick the cool character that you want to be. I'm just going to pick her just for fucking shits and giggles. Some black hair. Change the face a little bit. Hey, what the hell? Something glitching out here. I'm not getting my skin color. There we go. Here we are. She's super skinny. Hairstyle's gonna be the ponytail. Oops, went a little too far. Black hair. Sounds good. She's gonna be a summoner. And they'll give me a chance now to discuss the other classes. Okay. So we're gonna make her the twin summoner, but first let's go through the list. So here's summoner. Here's the generic stuff. Okay. Again, notice it doesn't say anything about the Eidolons because you haven't picked the Eidolon yet. The Devil Binder, you don't have a choice, but they still make you go to Animal Companion and say, I want the devil. You automatically know you're gonna, so I wish they would just fill that in. But that's what the Devil Binder gets. We've seen that already. And again, these ones are your abilities, not the devil's, yours. These are the devils. These are the devils. All these are the spells for the devils. And again, we're missing out on a lot of shit. So again, if you do a direct comparison, you see we're missing out on all this cool stuff here, and the life bond thingy over there, or the twin Eidolon over here, and all that shit. But Summoner gets it like they should. And we're missing out, of course, on all our summons spell-like abilities. Having said that, here's the Fae Caller, and again, they still make you pick the Fae, even though, again, there's no choice. But this is what the Fae gets. Notice how they still have all this cool shit? They still have all these, even though it's not the same summons, it's different, but it's still the same as far as I'm concerned. So this is still a solid choice. You're not missing out by going Fae Caller, in my opinion. The Naturalist, we haven't shown you this one yet. It also has the Summon Nature's Ally 1 through 9. It doesn't have all the cool, Shield Ally and Greater Shield Ally and Transposition, etc. and so forth. It's got Transposition, it's got Maker's Call, the Life Link, and the Life. It doesn't have the Life Bond. That's important. But notice how it does give you the ability to pick from the Eidolons. So again, there's no limit here. I mean, you can't be the Fae, and you can't be the Twin, and that's really the only real answer here. But they have these special abilities. What are these? So these are animal focuses. So you get one here that you can turn. You get a bunch of them, but you can turn them on. So you can turn on one animal focus. Here you can turn on 2. Here you can turn on 3, and that's for your Eidolon. And here you can actually use one of the animal focuses for yourself. Fucking awesome. So basically it's a buff for you and 3 buffs for the Eidolon. And what are those buffs? I'm not going to list them all to you, but one of them, just for instance, is a +2 to strength. It's an enhancement. Who cares? That's lame. Yeah, but it goes from +2 to +4 to +6 before the end of the build. So it steadily gets better. There's one that buffs con. There's one that buffs dex, I think. There's ones that increase your ground speed. They're just like weird shit. Okay, so think of like your aspect of the wolf, aspect of the eagle or the falcon, and stuff like that. It's similar to that, but it's just like a static buff. But there's 3 of them. And there is something else with naturals that you can unlock as a feat pick. Because you have animal focus, there's a elemental focus or a I'm going to call it elemental focus, but I'm sure that's wrong. Planar focus, I think, might be what it is. Point is if you pick that feat, it unlocks even more foci. So instead of having the lame animal buffs, you can do stuff like turn your weapon on fire or make anyone that hits you take cold damage, just like random weird shit. But again, you could still only activate 3 on your Eidolon and only 1 on yourself. But that's of interest. I mean, that's something that could be fun. Master Summoner, just don't fucking do it. It's fucking stupid. And here's why. Master Summoner, they give you augment summoning for free, and you don't even have to meet the requirements, which means you don't have to have spell focus conjuration. Ooh, ring a ding ding. You still get all your lame ass fucking Eidolon shit up here, or most of it. Notice you don't got shield ally and greater shield ally, but you get the other stuff, and you get your aspect and your greater aspect, and you still got your summons 1 through 9, which is your thing really anyway. If you're going to go for Master Summoner, this is why you did this. But watch what happens when I pick an Eidolon. See how they say lesser? Here's why. You only get the first 3 abilities. Now, sometimes that's all you needed. Those first 3 abilities might be badass, but they're really not that fucking good. And it's really dumb then to pick the Master Summoner. To me, if I wanted to play something like this, I would play the Inquisitor. That's called the Monster Tactician. Those motherfuckers get cool summoning abilities like this for free as they level up. And they get all kinds of cool healing spells and necromancy spells and cleric spells and just all kinds of fun shit that they get to do. And you can just purchase augment summoning, spell focus conjuration, superior summoning for that build and still have fun with it. You don't need an Eidolon. So I would shy away from this one, personally speaking, unless someone has some better advice on to why this would be better. I just don't see it being better. Twin Summoner, on the other hand, is the one we're going to make, and this is the one that the only way that you can have an Eidolon that looks like you is by picking this. Okay, so here's your Twin Summoner, and again, they make you pick the Twin Eidolon. But go back here. Notice how there's 2. How the hell is there 2? Well, this one, the one that's red, is if you play a small character. So if you play a halfling or a gnome, you will pick this one. If you're playing anybody else, you're picking the medium or larger size. So this is the human, the dwarf, the half-orc, the whatever. And again, nothing different there, technically. And all the stats are going to be the same, except for one. If you played a halfling or a gnome, your Eidolon is tiny too. Remember how you get a bonus to armor class for being tiny? Well, so does your Eidolon. You know how you get a bonus to your swing to hit the target because you're small and they're big? So does your Eidolon. So honestly, the best one for a twin Eidolon, to me anyway, is if you played a halfling or a gnome. I'm not going to. I'm going to show you just a normal human, but that's my take on it so far. And this will be probably the type of build that I make for you in the future. I'm not going to power level it to 20, but I wanted to show you some stuff. So now we've unlocked the stuff I want to unlock. So now first let's look at what we get for my twin guy. She's going to look just like me. She gets weapon training, but only in simple weapons. So she's not like the Azada. She doesn't get martial weapons. She gets simple weapons. That's cool though. And again, there's a lot of simple weapons. So I wrote it down here. Hold on a second. What's my simple weapon list? These pages are everywhere. I have simple weapon. There we go. Simple weapons include, and you have access to simple weapons, by the way, as a summoner. That's the only weapons you have access to without unlocking martial weapons and exotic weapons yourself. Or unless, of course, you're like an elf. Remember, they get like long sword, long bow, blah, blah, blah. But for a normal person, let's just say it that way. For simple weapons, you're going to get dagger, light mace, punching dagger, sickle, club, heavy mace, short spear, dart, heavy crossbow, javelin, light crossbow, sling, which apparently exists in this game, great club, long spear, quarterstaff, and spear. So there's not a laundry list, but daggers are pretty plentiful in this game. There's some good spears and long spears in the game. Plenty of quarterstaffs, and a lot of the quarterstaffs have spells attached to them. Or you can cast like fireball twice a day with this quarterstaff in your hands. So the fact that you can use them, and so can your goddamn pet, is pretty fucking cool, because you can swap out weapons. Here you go, buddy. Take the quarterstaff. Have fun with it. And that's kind of cool. Notice they also get a skill and stealth evolution. Remember, that's a +6 for stealth. Why? I don't fucking know. But it's what it is, and it's free, so you're not going to argue. Then, this is the other one that gets spell-like ability. Their spell-like abilities, though, are two things to them that you need to know. One, you're only going to get like a few castings a day. It's not that big a deal, but that limits you. It's not like the Fae, and it's certainly not like the Devil Binding class that has all the fucking extra spells. So you only get like 1, 2, 3 spells a day from the list, period. But they can cast any spell you can cast, so that's important, except they can't cast your highest level spells. So if you can cast level 2, they can only cast level 1. If you can cast level 5, they can cast level 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can cast level 6, which of course is the goal. They can cast level 5 spells that you have in your book down to level 1. Having said that, they can't cast those if their charisma is not high enough. And remember, their charisma is shit. All the charisma for Eidolon start at 11. So they can only going to be able to, best case scenario right now, be able to cast level 1 spells. And that's right here when you finally can cast level 2. So it still works. I highly recommend, though, that means you invest in charisma for this character. Even if it's a point, because being able to cast level 1 spells and level 2 spells, at least that's something. If you can really push it, either put 2 more points in charisma for the Eidolon, which is definitely wasteful, or purchase with your evolution points plus 2 to charisma. That's easy enough to do. So you go from 12 to 14. Now she can cast level 1, 2, 3, or 4 spells, when of course you can cast level 5 and 6. So that's something, and I would probably go that route. But that's a thing that they can do. Then they get a shared slot. This is the only Eidolon, I believe, that can get this. Remember the belts, or sorry, the slots we were talking about, where if I have a belt and she has a belt, her belt doesn't work anymore for her. It still stays on her body, but she doesn't get the benefits of whatever the belt was giving her. Let's say it's the belt of physical perfection plus 8. 8 to strength, dex, and con. That's a big fucking boost. Well, now with the shared slot, and this is an evolution that only the twin Eidolon can pick, or that we can pick for the twin Eidolon, however you want to say it. We get one of them for free. You get to pick between any of those slots. So we're talking a hat, bracers, not armor, still not armor, but you can get a hat, necklace, booties, gloves, whatever. And if she has them and I have a different set or the same set, doesn't matter, she still gets the benefit from it. I recommend either the hat for the highest, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, or I suggest the belt to give her high strength, dex, and con. And that way you can have the belt too and still benefit from it. You see that? Again, free. You can purchase more than this though. And again, you could purchase damn near all of them. It's wasteful, but hey man, if you want to have her kitted out with fucking robes and, or not robes, like a cloak and booties and gloves and rings up the yin yang, and you can do that shit. It would add a lot of shit to that character. And remember, some of the gear in this game has spell-like abilities built into it. Like you can cast magic missile infinitely with this goddamn quarterstaff. You can shoot magic missile with this ring 3 times a day. You can have blur on your character all the time just by having this little ring on your little finger. That shit's in the game. So if you gave her enough of these shared slots, so you're not stealing from your character or limiting your character on what they can wear, then both of you can be fucking kitted out, so to speak, and be pretty fucking baller. So that's a thing. That's a possibility. I've yet to decide if that's worth doing, but it is a thing that can be done. Then they get DR5/magic. This is less useful to me because, again, there's a lot of magic in the game. But when they don't, at least you got some protection. And remember, layers. So if you have Stone Skin, which again, as a summary, you have the ability to cast that spell, Stone Skin, and as well as Communal Stone Skin. If you buff them and yourself with Stone Skin, she has DR5 magic, she'd have DR10/adamantine. So is it an adamantine weapon? No, then the DR10 kicks in. Is it a adamantine weapon? Yes. Is it a magic adamantine weapon? Probably. But if it isn't, then the DR5 would kick in. That's why it said layers. So it's not 10 and 5 make 15. It's 10 or 5, whichever works. And if it's a magic adamantine weapon, she just straight up gets boned. Notice, however, though, at level 10 Eidolon, this is not level 10 Eidolon. This is level 9 for you. I'll explain that here in just a moment. Level 10 Eidolon would be here at level 13 for your summoner. They get a free feat. So again, something else that she gets that the other guys didn't get. So she gets another goddamn feat, which makes her fucking cool. So again, pretty awesome. Then, down here she gets 2 things. She gets another skill ability, much like the one that she got over here for stealth. Now she has another one that's just another +6 to a skill. Awesome. She also gets a +2 to any ability you pick. Remember, she needed constant or charisma for that spell casting. This could be free in a permanent buff. +2. More on that later, but think about this. She's at 11. She puts charisma on here. Now she's definitely at 13. So that's level 1, 2, and 3 spells. And she can level up her charisma once, twice, 3 times a lady to get from 11 to 14. She puts this on charisma. Now she'd have a charisma of 16. Yes, that's wasteful, and she can't cast level 6 spells no matter how hard you fucking try. But she could cast level 5 on down. So that might be a thing. Again, it's just not really that worth it, but fuck it. It could be an idea, is my point. And this is an evolution. It's a permanent evolution. Remember, so whatever you pick is +2. it's permanently +2. You can add to it. You can get it from +2 to +4, +6 to +8, whatever. Point is, though, it's still +2 guaranteed all the time from this point on. So make sure you're picking the thing you want. But because this is an evolution, you can get that charisma for yourself too if you click that button, or any other charisma that you stack on there. So I can get her charisma, let's say, to a +8. 2 from this and 3 more increases where it's +2 each time. That's a +8 to her permanent charisma at level 19 and 20. Let's say I continually do that for her, so she always has the highest charisma ever. I click this button, my charisma and the summoner now, the one that needs a high charisma for DC checks. Maybe she wants to do intimidating prowess and cornering and smash build, because I can fucking do that shit if I so choose. I have a really high charisma now, and that's not an enhancement. That means it stacks with a hat of charisma +8, and anything else that I would cast on her or buff myself with her charisma. It's a completely separate category. That's a +8 to charisma. That's a +4 to your DC checks of all your goddamn spells with saving throws. That's better than spell focus and greater spell focus for every fucking spell category. Okay? That's fucking cool. And that's how the next build is going to come. For those of you that are curious about what's coming in the future, my very first summoner build is going to be a twin summoner, and I'm going to make sure I pick the right spells, the right kind of summoner, and I'll show you how I would level the Eidolon up at each stage too. So it's going to be a long fucking video because it's time consuming, but it's definitely fun. And it's going to be all about getting me that twin Eidolon so I can get the fucking max charisma, so I can have spellcaster and be badass. And there'll be a spellcaster too, sort of, with that level 1 through 5 spells that they'd have access to 3 times a day. Just saying. Then, I think I love this. The bitch regenerates. Fast healing 5, no hampering on this. It's just regeneration. And remember, we get, oh, sorry, I forgot to point out something else. Sorry, we get teamwork feat sharing. So that means any teamwork feat that the summoner gets, and they'll get 2 for free here and here, and I can pick up more up there if I so choose. It automatically copies those teamwork feats to the Eidolon for free. So that's 2 for sure, 3 if I want it, or more. That's fucking awesome. So that's like a nice duo. You and your fucking Eidolon know each other so well that, you know, they're sharing your fucking experiences, and therefore your teamwork feats fucking translate over. That could be extra armor, extra attack damage, it could be extra attack bonus, be better saving throws, just all kinds of weird shit that falls in the teamwork feat categories now. And that's fucking sweet. The fact that she regenerates, I believe that life bond is not here. Nope, there it is. So again, if I'm taking damage and I have no way to heal myself, summoners don't have healing abilities, not for themselves anyway. They can heal their Eidolons, that's it. But they can steal life from their Eidolon. So that's what the life bond's about. So I can have my life bond up, buff myself up. I mean, I just happen to take a couple of bad hits, I can siphon life from my fucking twin's Eidolon, who regenerates damage, so that doesn't matter. They're gonna fucking heal that shit back up before too long, and I don't really have to worry about being stupid and killing them by mistake. We still have that same limitation here, where again, I can't have these pets out from the spell-like abilities if the Eidolon's out. But remember, I can pick up this spell, this spell, this spell, this one, and this one, and this one over here as I level up naturally, and I probably would at least take 1 or more of these guys, because you better believe I'm going to go for spell focus conjuration, augmented summoning, superior summoning. Hell, I might even get greater spell focus conjuration just to be a total dick. And again, with that plus maximum charisma bump from this little fucker right here, I'll have a conjuration DC check that's fucking through the roof. It's going to be sweet. Now, of course, we don't have a lot of conjuration spells that have saves, but all those pit spells will do. And I can get like Acid Pit, Hungry Pit. There's some really good ones in there. And because you can control your Eidolon, it's just like a animal companion or a teammate. You can control them, choose what they do. I don't have to worry about her being an idiot and falling into the pit like these little dumb fucktards. So again, some serious fun that can be had here. Teamwork feats alone make this character fucking awesome. The shared slot makes this character awesome, and all the other cool shit besides just keeps adding to the fun here. Lots of shit that I'm going to have fun with this character. But let's get to the point where I actually show you what you have for evolution points. So we'll fast forward through this part here real quick, guys. Again, I want my charisma high. I'll probably do a Cornian smash build since I'm a human. So a really strong strength probably unlock like martial weapon proficiency or some shit so that I can get myself like a long sword or something useful. Oh, I may just keep the fucking quarterstaff. She can Corrigan smash with a quarterstaff, and she'll do more damage with it because it's two-handed weapon. Nothing wrong with that. And so this is good enough for me, but I usually go like this for a human build: 16, 12, 12, 12, 7 for wisdom, so that sucks. Will sucks. And perception and perception, lower nature, and lower religion are gonna suck, but we got bonuses. I'm not worried. That better intelligence though gets me some extra skill points as a human. That's helpful to me. Oops. And normally I just do perception, persuasion, use magic device, and call it good for now. We'll work on other stuff. But remember, if you want to go Dragon Disciple, you need Knowledge Arcana up to 5. And you need Persuasion up to like 6 to do the Corrigan Smash build. From here, I want to do Deity. Make a emotional drawback. Envy. I would normally get combat trait related to society for some sneak attack lub. Over here I'll grab equipment trait, family heirloom. What kind of weapon would I actually have? Again, I can't use any of these unless they're simple weapons, so it'd probably be a dagger. That's lame sauce. But there is, the modder was nice enough to finally add quarterstaff, so I can get quarterstaff, and quarterstaffs are good. There's lots of really good magic ones in the game, and we're low on spells anyway, being a spontaneous caster and having a limited spell list. So going quarterstaff is not the worst idea ever. From here, faith trait, planar savant is common if you're going to invest in knowledge arcana or knowledge world and you're a high charisma character, which we are. This is the way to go, because now we use our charisma modifier instead of our intelligence modifier. So if I go back here and say take off persuasion and put it in knowledge arcana, see how it's 8? Why is it 8? Because it's going from +4, not +1. Okay, show it to me. There you go. See how it says charisma +4? That's why, because of that. I don't have to grab that now. I'm just saying that's why I would do this. From here, evolution, we'll talk about that in a minute. Feats, if you're playing human, you're only the only one you get 2 feats for. But remember, we have these mods, so we do have the ability to get 3 feats. With spell vulnerability, we get 2 more with a penalty. Now, what penalty to take? Well, this character doesn't have any immunities inherently. I can give her some, but she doesn't have any right now. So I'm not really helping myself in any real way here by picking something that she's going to be immune to. Like, maybe I'll pick an Eidolon that has immunity to cold, because when I click that button, even if I have a weakness to cold, I'm immune to cold now. You see that? But again, Abjuration is the cheap and easy one. That's the one I'll take for here. As far as feats are concerned, I can grab, I'm definitely going to grab Power Attack. And I'm definitely going to grab Spell Focus Conjuration. And for the last one, I'll grab Arcane Strike. Remember, I'm an arcane caster. I'll do free damage. So with that and Power Attack, I'm actually doing okay for myself. Oop, sorry, I forgot about the Eidolon. So this is your evolution selection. So let's actually show unavailable. So show you the goddamn list. So here's ability increase. The downside of these are, unless you do the show unavailable, you don't see what they are. Watch. See that? You don't have anything. So did I pick it? No, because if you do this, it won't let you progress. So you didn't pick anything. Why did you not pick anything? Because if you show unavailable, you'll see that their prerequisites are you need 2 points. You only have 1 at level 1. You get, and let's talk about this now. How do you get your points? Every time you level up your Eidolon, right now your Eidolon's level 1, so you get 1 point. So when your Eidolon gets to level 15, which will be by level 19 for you, they'll have 15 points minimum. You can purchase more, they can get more free as we saw in the video, but they'll have no less than 15 by the end of the build. There's ways for you to steal them from them. That's what the aspect and greater aspect is, but I don't usually do that. I'll show you how to do that in another video. But these take 2 points. We don't have 2 points. So again, that's why it's redded out like that. See that? So again, we can't buy those yet. And we don't have companion rank 6. That means us, the summoner, has to be level 6. And we need to have the evolution, or sorry, you can't pick it if you already have this ability, the strength increase. Or sorry, you need strength increase 1 to get strength increase 2. Sorry, I'm reading this wrong. But all of these increases take 2 points. From level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 points. If I want to have a strength of +8 to that character, I would need 8 evolution points. Okay, so that's a thing. Notice breath weapon, bunch of different breath weapons, and this is like I said, when they say you can't use anything in that one form. You remember I told you about the Azada, how they turn into the intangible heavenly form or whatever, and it says they can't attack. but they can use spell-like abilities from their evolutions. This is the only thing I think of that spell-like abilities in here. So unless I'm missing something, this is the only thing that behaves like a spell. And again, that's something, but there's a laundry list of these fuckers in here, and as you can see, you can buy them multiple times. So we have 4 point evolution points. You got breath weapon 2, 3, the 1s down here, and again, the 2s and the 3s are just extra uses a day. It doesn't increase your damage, it just gives you another casting. And thank God level 2 only costs 1 EP, because level 1 costs 4. See that? So 4 for the first casting, then another point to get a second casting, and then yet again another point to get the third casting in a day. And don't try to mix and match. Don't try to get acid cone and acid beam. It fucks it up. You only get one of them. You don't get both. So don't think you can do that trick. You're going to pick one acid breath, or one breath weapon, to say it that way, and run with it. So that's what that's. Energy attacks, again, takes 2 EP to do it, and you need to be rank 5 before you can even purchase this shit, and of course have 2 unused points. Notice the unused. That just means that you haven't used up all your points yet. So that's no big deal. So basically, as long as you have 2 and have all these requirements met, you can fucking take it. Notice you can take it multiple times. You can't get acid twice, but you can get acid, cold, electric, and fire all on the same tune. That's 1d6 of acid, cold, electric, and fire damage per hit. Now think about a character that has a claw attack, a tail swipe, a wing buffet, and another wing buffet. That's 5 goddamn attacks, and throw a bite attack in there. You got 6 attacks in a fucking combat round, all of which are doing 4d6 of extra elemental damage total each. I'm just saying, that's okay. Fast healing, just like it sounds. So regeneration 1, regeneration 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember, I get it for free, but until that time, I can purchase it for her, so I can use that trick that we were talking about. It doesn't have to be 5, but at least so she's always regenerating. I never have to worry about her dying, or not dying. I never have to worry about her being low in health, because I can just wait after the fight until she fucking heals herself up from natural regeneration. And that's okay. The lowest one here, it takes a while. You can't get it till level 11. It takes 4 unused points. That's a bummer, but I tell you what, I'd rather do that, because again, without being able to heal them easily, we can, but it'd be nice to know that it's constant regen going on, even if it's the lame version. It's for those who play D&D, it's the same reason you guys get the Ring of Regeneration. Or, I hate the Ring of Vampiric Regeneration, those ones suck. But the Ring of Regeneration, the one that you just put on and it like regenerates you like 1 hit point every hour or week or whatever the fuck it is. And as long as you can wear it, you can actually regrow limbs. Like if you had your foot hacked off or whatever, as long as you got a ring on that finger, within a week, a month, a year, whatever, that foot will grow back. It's the same general principle. That's why you do that. So even if it takes forever to heal, you're going to be back in rare form again. That's the same general principle here. Immunities. These ones, just like it sounds, you can be immune to any of these 4 elements. You can be immune to all 4 of these elements if you invest in it. You need to be ranked 7 summoner to be able to purchase it, and have at least 2 points to use it, and of course not have immunity to any of these things at the time. But again, if you can grab acid, cold, and electric, and fire for 8 points, hey man, that's not that bad. You're immune to 4 different kinds of fucking damage with that pet now. And remember, anything you purchase here, I get it too. Just saying, pretty fucking baller. Improved damage. You can get this one multiple times, but only in that you can get 1 for bite, 1 for claw, 1 for gore, 1 for other natural. That's your slam. Or your, I believe this might even work for like unarmed strike, but I don't know that. But definitely slam, gore, claw, and bite are obvious uses here. This might even be like tail slap for all I know. Point is, this just increases it to the next higher weapon category. So again, if you did 1d4 of damage with the claw, it's 1d6 now. If it was 1d6, it goes to 1d8. If it's 1d8, it goes to 2d6. You get the idea. It's not impressive. It's not that big a deal. Better than that is this little fucker here, improved natural armor, and notice you can get that up to 5 goddamn times. Notice that you can only get the 5th one at level 20. But that's a +2, +4, +6, +8, +10 to the armor. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it the wrong way. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There you go. +10 to the armor class of your pet. And remember, if it has it, you can have it. That's +10 natural armor, motherfucker. That's a tough sumbitch. Just saying. Pretty fucking cool. And you can get that, and I will, normally at level 1. Reach is nothing more like you would think. It's just the typical, you have 5 feet better reach with your weapon. So if you're using daggers, suddenly you have longer arms. You have a bigger reach. And that would work for you too. I'm not saying it's worth doing, just saying it's a possibility. Resistances, you can pick this multiple times, but again, only one per each of these things. So you can be acid resistant, cold, or electric, or blah blah blah. But the point is, you have to choose. Now, what does it do? Remember, this is what I keep telling you. Starts off with DR5, then it goes to 10, then it finishes up at level 10 at 15. So it starts at DR5 when you pick it. When you're a level 5 summoner, it becomes DR10. When you get to level 10 summoner, it's DR15. And it doesn't get any better than that. But it's okay. And again, that could sew up some protection early on, especially when you know you're fighting those dudes that kick out those little fire breath attacks. Here you go. Or the those little floating ghost motherfuckers that do the electric attacks all the time. Give them some electric resistance. It's not amazing. Better than zero, though. And again, I can see the appeal. And it's cheap. Shared slot. Notice you don't have shared slot belt yet. You have at least 2 points, which we don't. And you have to be one of the two twin Eidolons. Remember, there's the tall version, which is one I am right now, or the small version, which I am not. These are the only people that can get the shared slots. Okay. Skilled. Again, cheap, easy. Notice she already has the stealth, but you can unlock other things. So again, if you want to make her good at trickery, you can have your little sneak thief buddy with you. Have her be the little ninja you always wanted to be, but you never had the guts to do it because you were busy being a summoner. Whatever. Do that thing. But again, cheap. Not the best idea, but not the worst. You can give her the slam attack, but why? She has simple weapon proficiency. Give her a fucking weapon, man. I mean, slam, yeah, you get 2 attacks in a combat round. And again, there's really no wrong answer here. I hate to harp on this, but there's no wrong answer because remember, I'm picking this now at level 2 when I get to repick. I can repick. I can get slam now and then say, nope, I don't want it. I decided it was crap. And so at level 2, I'll also level up again and I'll get to repick these points. And I'll have 2 points to spend instead of 1. So then I'll say, oh, I definitely didn't want slam. That was dumb. We don't want that. Boo, 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 slam. I don't want you. Notice that there's weapon training. She already has 1. And see that no permanent evolution weapon training. She has that. That's why there's the X. We also only have 2 points to spend. Notice that the only people that can pick this one up are the Eidolons that are humanoid. Be real clear on that. So your little ninja cat's not going to be weapon training at all. Don't even think that that's a thing. And of course, eventually we could unlock with 2 points, and we should, in my opinion, give her martial weapon training. We don't have to, because simple weapons are good enough. If we're all using the quarterstaff and the crossbows, but between me and her, we're fine. It'd be a waste. But sometimes there's a reason to grab that, because again, I can give her a badass longsword or a really good fucking short sword or whatever. There's a lot of good shit in here for weapon training if it's martial weapons. Notice that there's other ones that are locked behind all these walls of shit. We're going to go through all of them, guys. Amorphous. You can't be crit or sneak, or the Eidolon, can't be crit or sneak attacked. That's fucking awesome. Remember, one of these guys had that for free already. She would actually get it. I have to invest 4 points to do it. But again, having a buddy that's a tank motherfucker up front that can never be crit and can never be sneak attacked, it's fucking sweet, right? You can give him a bite attack, but notice it is not going to work for her because she's not in this list. So she's because she's a human, I guess, or a humanoid, she's not allowed to have a bite. But the demons can, the devils can, the elementals can, the animal elementals can. So again, there's a list here. The Protean, the Agathon can. Again, those make sense because they look like animals already anyway. But they get them for free. But the point is we could have gotten a bite. And it's just like you think it is. It's just an extra a primary attack, excuse me. Does good damage at least. And of course gets better if you're taller, bigger, whatever. The reason that's important is there's a way to make your character bigger too. Blind sense and blind sight, just like they sound. You gotta have blind sense to get blind sight. Claws, they're pricey. Claws, again, we talked about that. Again, she can't pick claws, but other guys can. Constrict, she can't pick that. But if you were the Protean or the Elemental Eidolon, the water, the Serpentine one, you can. And it's because both of those guys have tails. Remember, the Protean even gets Constrict for free, eventually. But until that time, why not get it sooner? And that's what this is telling you. Damage reduction, now we're talking. Just about everybody gets this one, or could. And again, you have to have a companion rank of 15, so it's a long way down the pike. But they can increase their damage reduction by 5. And if they already had damage reduction 5/evil, damage reduction 10/cold iron, whatever, picking this increases it by 5. So it went from 10 to 15. If it went from 5 to 10. If you didn't have any, they have DR5 now. So again, pretty awesome. Just saying. Really, really nice that you can do that. Extra attack 2. Now we gotta really fucking talk. Because extra attack, literally, just like it sounds, you get one more primary hand attack. So if they have slam, remember we talked about the characters that are punching but they're not punches? They have a slam with the right hand and a slam with their left hand. The angels have this ability. If I gave that angel at level 2, which I could, extra attack at level 2 now, they would have 3 attacks. They'd have slam with their main hand, slam again with their main hand at no penalty, and a slam with their offhand with no penalties. That's 3 attacks at level fucking 2 at full attack bonus. That's pretty fucking powerful. And it doesn't take long for you to unlock extra attack 2. You just can't have gore. You can't. You have to have extra attack 1 first. You have to have another 2 points to spend, and you have to be one of these categories. And again, as you can see, it's all the humanoids that get this shit, including the twin guy. So again, if I want my twin to be a monster when it comes to just attacking with that quarterstaff, I've had one with the quarterstaff higher level where I had extra attack and extra attack 2, where they were swinging with the quarterstaff like 3 or 4 times by like level 7 or 8 or some shit. This is ridiculous. It's just like beating the fuck out of guys. I'm like, fucking slow down. Stop killing everything. Jesus, I gotta fucking record this shit. It's fucking pretty funny. And again, not only can you get extra attack and extra attack 2, notice that there's extra offhand attack and extra offhand attack 2. So if I wanted to make a dual wielding dagger bitch from hell, I can fucking do so with this, because again, I can give them offhand attacks this way. And I don't have to rely on a high BAB to do it. So I can get, I think, upwards of like 7 attacks if I get extra attack 2, extra offhand attack 2, and give her like 2 daggers. She can just fucking tear some shit up. And remember, I can get that for myself too at the end. Just saying. You can be a Ginsu chef. Flight, you can give them wings, gore, obvious extra primary attack. You headbutt them basically for some damage. Kind of stupid. Poison, strength, con. Notice that strength is less than con. You can't have strength and con. It's one or the other. You have to have a bite to do it, obviously. And it's limited to those guys that could have a bite, so it's not surprising. And of course you have to be ranked 7 to do that. But it's a nice little poison added to the bite attack. Pounce, for those of you that know what Pounce does, if you have a bite, any kind of natural weapon attack, however many attacks you have in a combat round, if you charge from one side of the map to the other to attack a guy, you only get 1 attack, right? Well, not with Pounce. With Pounce, you get a full combat round. So, like, literally, I can take my cat person buddy here, see a bad guy there, have them charge across the map instead of just getting 1 bite. They can charge across if they have the number of attacks. They can bite, claw swipe, back claw swipe, wing buffet attack, all in the same combat round. That's a lot of fucking attacks, especially if it's the surprise round where I can get sneak attack 11 in there. And that's a possibility thanks to Pounce. Rake is how you get that back claw attack. See what that does? So you have claws, and then you have rake. Rake is using your back leg claws. And again, notice who it's limited to all the pets, the ones that look like animals, right? So the quadruped, and the Eidolon. Notice the water elemental's not even in here, the one that's the lizard, because they ain't got no fucking legs. But the ones with legs, the quadruped forms, and the Agatheon, which is the celestial, or that's celestial, but it's the saber-toothed tiger looking son of a bitch. They can all get a bite, 2 claw attacks, and 2 back leg attacks if they pick the right things. And that meshes really nice with Pounce. Notice that there's large size increase and huge size increase. Let's talk about them in order. Large you need before to get huge, and that's 4 points, and then 6 more points. This is a waste. It's not bad early levels, so when you get it, when you can pick it up, it's not the worst idea. But read this part here. This is really misleading. The ability increase evolution gives only 1 point when adding to the strength or constitution scores of a large or huge Eidolon. The Eidolons, remember, they get constant strength and dex bonuses as they level up to level 15, plus 7 total. So plus 7 to strength, plus 7 to dex. This thing is giving plus 4 to strength. It will literally give it to you early. When you finally get to the point where you have 4 strength or more, it'll stop giving you this bonus. So it'll say plus 4, then it'll say minus 4 right next to it. You're like, what the fuck? I just bought this. Yeah, you still get your con bonus. You still get your natural armor bonus. and you still get your dex penalty. That's bad. That's real bad. Don't do that at the end of the build. In the earlier parts, like I said, when you're level 8, it's worth doing. It's worth doing for a little bit, but when you start to see that you're not getting your strength bonus as much, or you're getting to the point where it's going to be gone, this +4 doesn't even get added, then it's not worth picking this up. And you may say, well, then just get the huge version, because the huge version's got to be better. Sure enough, yeah, but it's rank 13, which means rank 13 summoner, and a much better strength bonus. And remember, they're not stacking. It replaces the other. So now it's +8 instead of plus whatever it was, +4. +4 to con, much more natural armor, and a much bigger decrease to dex, because again, you're bigger and you're clumsier and all that shit that is applicable to that. And again, same problem here. So literally, the higher you go up, the less bonus you get for strength. And you get to the point where it's like, this ain't even really giving me anything. It's making it easier for them to hit me. My dexterity is fucking lower. Fuck this shit. Yeah, you hit like a brick shithouse because you're the bigger form, but you're missing left and right. And you're just like, it ain't worth it. So I would pass on those. Tail slap, obviously it only works for the guys that have the tail, and literally it's just an extra attack. Notice it's a secondary attack. Secondary attack means that it's a -5 penalty to the swing. But remember, all your Eidolons, even the ones that shouldn't get multi-attack. And multi-attack works on these secondary attacks, taking that -5 penalty down to like a -2. It's not bad. From their trip, if they have the bite evolution, which you can give them, remember it's right the fuck up here. Some of them can get it, some of them can't. But if you can give them bite, or if they have it for free, you can give them trip with 2 points. And of course you have to be rank 4 or higher. And now every time they get a successful bite, they do a free combat maneuver check to try to trip them, much like the wolves do in the earlier parts of the game. So now you can have pets that basically do that for you for free. Then wing buffet. Obviously you need wings to do it, so hence you need flight. But once you purchase it, and it's cheap to purchase, it's just 2 extra attacks. Wing buffet 1d4, 2 of them, and there's secondary attacks again. But again, you could have, like I said, you could have a bite, a claw attack 1, claw attack 2, back claw 1, back claw 2, wing buffet attack 1, wing buffet attack 2, all on the same fucking pet. That's 7 goddamn attacks. It's pretty fucking cool. And I think there's a cap, like you can't have more than 7 or 8 or 9. I don't even know how you do that. I mean, obviously, if like haste spell, or maybe you had tail slap or constriction too, it's going to cap out at some point. I don't know what that number is, but I know that 7 is doable. So that's fucking pretty funny. And that's all of them, guys. And I know this video is long. I did the video yesterday. That's why you haven't seen one. It took over 3 hours. This is trimmed, trust me. So this will be the build that I'm going to post next. But before I post this video, or the next build video, I'm going to break down the spells that we can pick, because it's kind of important that we talk about what spells are available at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's not going to be like the typical PowerPoint presentation. I'm just going to upload 6 characters, and one will have level 1 spells ready to pick, one will have level 2 spells ready to pick, and 3 and 4, 5, and 6. So you can just see the spells. We'll go through them very quickly, so I can show you that they are unique spells to the summoner. Most of them, of course, have to do, or all of the ones I'm thinking of, have to do with the fact that you're dealing with an Eidolon. So like you can heal the Eidolon, you can increase your life force draining ability, your life bond ability, so you suck more health from them or give more health to them faster. Or the other one is you can give them evolution points temporarily. And that's kind of fucking cool. And I want to show you kind of some of that stuff. So that'll be the next video. The third video that's coming tonight or tomorrow will be this build, once I'm finally finished tweaking it out for what I want to show you. And it'll be a twin summoner build. Probably a halfling. Could be a gnome, but I'm thinking halfling makes the most sense. But that's it, guys. That's what I wanted to show you. With that, though, my name is Brother Mutant. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think of these summoner classes. And again, there's only one of the entire summoner classes that I really just think is a poo-poo idea, and it's the Master Summoner. I would avoid it like the goddamn plague. But with that, I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.